Hey everybody, welcome back to FableForge RPG. It is Wednesday night D&D, which is very unusual. A brand new campaign starting tonight with Hearts of Shadow. I have some amazing players with me tonight. I'm going to introduce them, and then they're going to introduce the characters they're going to be playing. And then we will start the session proper to begin what hopefully will be an epic journey of legendary proportions. So, in no particular order, just in the order I have you on my screen in front of me, I have Mitch, also known as Penny for a Tale. Mitch is going to be playing Sophian, and he will tell you more about Sophian here in a minute. I have Sammy. Sammy is going to be playing an amazing character named Soraya. They're all amazing. That's just me fumbling over my words.
Joey's already playing favorites. Confirmed.
Yes. Next up, we have Farah. Farah is going to be playing Elbrion, also known as Brian, or Brian, depending on how much of an accent I end up throwing in there throughout all these sessions. And then last, but certainly not least, we have Lexi, also goes by Lexi Monster TV, and she is going to be playing Lorelei. And correction, I didn't call out that Farah also goes by Shabesy and Shabesy Shark, so you can find them on Twitter. If I didn't say any of that clearly, I did put an info banner here right beneath me on the stream overlay, so you can check all that out. Go follow them. They're amazing people. They're going to be amazing players. I'm going to do my best to do them justice in this campaign. So, let's go back in the same order. I'm going to put you in the spotlight here, Mitch. I want you to introduce a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about Sophian, and then we'll go through the list.
Yeah, sure. My favorite color is purple. I really like Korean barbecue. I head up Penny for a Tale. We do creative development and marketing for TTRPG games. I'm also a writer. And I will be playing Sophian, a halfling badass who uses a dagger. And will use nothing more than that. It's all he ever needs. It also cuts stuff, and he's kind of a leisurely, enjoyable halfling and stuff like that. So I'm excited. This is gonna be cool.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. I think it's gonna be very cool as well. Sammy, your turn.
I'm Sammy. I am an actor by trade, an actor, writer, director. Also a dungeon master in my own right. This is my first experience on a D&D stream, so that's exciting for me. I'm playing Soraya, a 16-year-old half-elven girl, very pale, very frail, almost albino-looking, shy, has a crossbow on her, and a pouch with some arcane components that she does not like opening.
Nice. Thank you. All right, Shabes.
Hi, I'm Shabes, or Farah. I am awkward, and I like puns. And food, snacks are good. I'm gonna be playing Brian, or Brian, and he's a low-key kid just looking to write adventure as great of ones as he's read growing up. He's still kind of a kid at heart, but he is now legal, so ladies be warned. Not that that's actually going to be a problem. I don't think he knows what that means. But yeah, that's him and me. Okay.
Thank you, Shabes. And again, last but certainly not least, Lexi.
Okay, I'm Lexi. I have been playing D&D for the last couple years, and I love it so much, but I am a streamer, mainly, but I do have a degree in English, and I would really like to write my own books one day, like horror genre, sci-fi. And as for Lorelei, she is a tall drow with silvery hair that she keeps braided, and very, very bright blue eyes, which is very unusual, and she is very bold and curious, but also extremely anxious all the time, and that's her.
Nice. All right. So, a couple of notes for the viewers' benefit. The stream, if you're new here, in case you're just kind of unfamiliar. Personally, I know a lot of DMs out there will look at the chat and be interactive and stuff, and that's just not something I do. I love all the activity on there, and y'all feel free to chat. I know a lot of players like to check and interact with the chat, and that's great. So the reason I'm saying that is because often, most of the time, we have moderators as well. That being said, sometimes people come in and they act a fool and they don't get along with the community and break the rules. So if that happens, just players always feel free to stop me so I can handle that, because I have zero tolerance. And just know that if anybody acts out, it is not how we do things here at this channel. Okay, respect, love, support, that's it. Okay, let's see, anything else before we get started? Yes, there are some links down below. Feel free to check them out during the break after the stream. Always feel free to interact, like I said, with each other. We have a great community and the players as much as they are willing and able to. We focus on having a very table-oriented game. I'm not really worried about how it translates to the stream. I know that's kind of taboo for a streamed game, but this is a game between us for us, and we love that you come along and ride with us. And we have some homebrew rules, we have some little quirks and things like that, so just be respectful of that and try to have fun with it. And last but certainly not least, please always feel welcome to invite your friends. The more the merrier, and we love sharing our stories and bringing that love to everybody else, so that would be wonderful. Thank you in advance if you decide to do that. So, with all of that being said, get out of streamer mode, get into D&D mode, and let us begin the campaign known as Hearts of Shadow. So, my friends, each of you have traveled a significant distance in the relatively recent past. You have come to the frontier village of Rybalka. It is a small, mining and fishing oriented village situated at the very edges of the Clavic Kingdom. It's been several years since this territory was taken away from the more spiritual and nativistic locals. They have known as the Vic Mordir. However, after that happened, many of the indigenous peoples and the people from the Clavic Kingdom have come together, and they have found some sense of balance, absorbing each other's traditions, and they get along very, very well. One of the Vic Mordir traditions ensures that light follows the dark. You see, here in Rybalka, at the edge of the Clavic Kingdom, nestled next to a lake surrounded by mountains, deep in the heart of winter, the winter solstice heralds in the longest night of the year. And immediately following that, the beginning of the new year, the dawn. You have heard in your travels throughout this region, especially here in Rybalka, that every year during the winter solstice, things happen that don't normally happen. Bad things. The darkness brings with it a nefarious spirit. And so, adopting the traditions of the local Vic Mordir, this town in Rybalka has a ritual they perform every year. This ritual is meant to herald in the new dawn and also protect the people of this region that come to Rybalka during the winter solstice. Now, whether you're from here or whether you just arrived here for the first time, this is information that you would have gathered very quickly, because around this time of year, on this day, the winter solstice, it is one of the most talked about events, period, bar none. Not the fishing, not the mining, not how biting cold it is, not local squabbles, but the vigil for light. So, you find yourselves in the Rybalka Lodge, a simple two-story stone and rough-hewn wood lodge. You have come to seek respite from the environment outside and to lay your head down in between searching for information for what you seek. It is relatively early in the evening. However, it is pitch black outside. The night sets very, very early here this time of year, especially on this day. Surrounding you in this common room of the Rybalka Lodge, you each are eating supper, resting, things like that. It is relatively packed. Especially over the last couple of days, many, many people from all across the countryside have come to seek respite here in Rybalka in preparation for the Vigil for Light, and so the lodge itself is packed to capacity and then some. The common room, although full of people, is relatively quiet and subdued, a side effect of the environment and the knowledge of what this day heralds. Trying to seek a place to sit and eat supper, the four of you happen to be seated together. You see each other as described by the players, and a round of food featuring spiced potatoes, salted fish, and a thick, warm honey mead is brought to your table to give you sustenance for the evening. So, that is the scene you find yourselves in. What do you do?
Eat.
I reach for whatever is warmest.
I will grab some of the mead and twisting my leather and bone bracelets around my wrists constantly in between sips and looking around at each of them nervously. I'm not used to being seated with so many people at once.
And you see as well, Saraya is doing her best to keep her chair at a somewhat safe distance.
Yeah, Sophian is sitting down and kind of bouncing as if he's listening to a song in his head. And he's mumbling every now and then, and he's smacking his lips. It's like an ASMR gross video with him just kind of go. And he has discarded the mead. He has his own flask filled with milk that he is chugging every now and then. Oh, yeah.
Are you okay, sir?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
A bit cold. I was not expecting this weather.
How are you not expecting this weather? It's like cold all the time. Forever.
Yes, I come from far away. I wasn't thinking. You wouldn't happen to have a secondary coat, would you?
Not that could fit you. No, it's I run on the petite, pudgy side of the halfling clothing line. Really, I think pudgy is really kind of like squishy or maybe soft. I am petite soft.
Well, are you going to finish that food?
Yes, I am. All of it.
Saraya just retreats behind her hair.
Did you want some? Or are you just curious if I'm going to eat it all? Or are you like a food critic? Or I don't know.
No. Sorry. I am just hungry.
Oh God.
I'll like slide like a little plate with some of my food over to Soraya and just not make eye contact, just like slide it over and keep eating to myself.
Thank you.
Like,
I'm sure I will figure it out.
that's not a good plan. That sucks.
I mean,
Maybe
I
someone around here.
I have some rations, but they
It's not a plan.
Yes, you are right.
Long-term planning for food.
At this inn, do you have a warm place?
Yeah,
to sleep?
I have a room here. Yes.
Is there Sophian will look around. Is there a place where we put our orphans in this town? Yeah. Orphanage. There's a kid right here who can't afford to eat or do anything.
No, I have some money enough to last for a moment at least.
Oh my God, where's that orphanage? That you were not like, jeez.
I don't think we need to
okay.
put her into an orphanage if she says she has a room here.
Yes, I am capable of being by myself.
Oh yeah, you're just sitting at a table and like looking sorry so that other people will feed you.
I was merely asking if you were going to finish your food. I apologize.
No reason to apologize. Say you're hungry when you're hungry. Just like don't.
I am hungry.
There you go. Someone feed this kid.
I'll slide over the food that's left on my plate as well.
I'm just taking everyone's food.
There you go. I will hand this little child the mead. Like dessert to go cup. Maybe some sort of small cup for this kid.
A roughly dressed server comes around with a plate and drops down several thick slices of smoked ham and a couple more mugs of mead.
Ooh.
And then walks on without even mentioning anything, trying to bounce and keep up with all the crowd here tonight. They're obviously overwhelmed.
Thank you, madame.
So, are you all here for the ceremony, the ritual?
I'm here for a shard.
A shard?
Yeah. You hear of it? Like shard.
Are you talking about the moon shard?
You said it out loud in the tavern.
Oh
yeah, that's
not...
okay.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I'm not from around here.
I've seen people killed for less, but.
Oh, am I in danger?
I kind of like
grip my dagger.
I like look up from my plate. He's not being serious. I don't even know. You're fine. Just don't worry about it.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about this moon shard? Anything special?
I heard that one time ago, a long time ago, it was so cold, right, that many of the townspeople could literally carve out ice with their pointy bits. The moon shard is said to be one of these things carved out from the ice deep underground, and that it might have some sort of magical qualities. I'm not really a magic person, so it sounds like something I should have, at least to build the legend of Sophion. I know you've heard of me. So.
Do you know what this shard does?
No, not really. I was going to find out when I got it.
Do you know where it is?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be here eating in a crowded place. I'd probably be like conquering some town or something.
If that is truly what it does.
Hopefully.
Perhaps our interests are momentarily aligned, for I also seek this shard.
Oh,
I
thought you
do as well.
Thought you guys were going to say you also seek to conquer towns. That would be a very particular dream.
Maybe not that far.
Yeah.
I would never.
What? Why not?
That is a horrible thing to do to people.
Now, see, the conquering it's really just democracy in action, just over an extended period of time, and sometimes by the turn of the hat.
I don't think.
It sounds to me like the powerful making the powerless feel powerless.
That's just the world? Like.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Are you gonna eat that ham?
Yes.
All right. Well, my name, like I said before, is Sophion. I am a soft halfling of much renown. Sometimes the crew calls me the get back guy, the loud blade in the face, roly poly sometimes, and one person east of here once called me Fuzzy Blueberry, but we don't exactly know the connection to it. In any case, Sophion, it is a pleasure to meet you three.
You said you had a crew? Do you have friends with you in this town?
I kind of roll deep. When I say crew, it's more so like, you know, if you don't know, you don't know, and I can't explain it if you don't know.
I guess
So no.
No, I know my crew is around here. I just don't bring them up every time, especially when I'm eating breakfast.
So you don't have a crew?
I have a crew.
But they're here, but they aren't here.
Yes. Look, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. I can't really explain it because you ain't gonna get it.
I'll kind of like look over at Soraya and just kind of very subtly.
Do I feel like he's full of shit?
Okay, perfect intro to PC versus PC contested checks. So, Soraya will roll an insight check, and then regardless of whether Sophion is being deceptive or not, Sophion will roll a deception check. And then it is up to the players to interpret what that means.
Great. Where am I on this Foundry? Let's see.
How do I roll the...
Yes, I cannot see myself.
Oh, I see it.
I will drop y'all on this map to make your life easier.
Thank you.
You will be really, really small in the water, but I will drop you on the map.
Great.
Ka-chow.
There we go. All right. Insight. Ooh, natural 20 on insight for a 24. You lying fuck.
I mean, Sophion does have a crew.
So I just turns to Elbrian and is just like,
All right then. I haven't heard much of the moon shard, but I'm here looking for it as well. I don't really know where to find it though. I guess we could ask someone, but it's getting kind of late.
Yeah. Oh, is it late? I don't know. I haven't looked out the window in quite some time.
Outside.
Yeah.
do we know when this ceremony is?
I mean, I live here, and honestly, I haven't heard of a ceremony, and that just could be I'm not really in to the ceremony.
How have you not heard of the ceremony? It's the biggest event of the year.
Yeah, but
Literally what everybody is talking about.
it's from some people's perspective, sure, all right. But me and my crew were
From the
more
entire town's perspective, really.
we're more hipster. I mean, obviously not the entire town, or else I would be included in that because I live here, or used to live here. I'm coming back from a place. I'm kind of returning home. Return of the Sophion episode 2 sort of stuff, you know.
And just to add a little bit to this, tying the backstory a little bit, Sophion's been gone for quite a while. And so this is player knowledge for you, Mitch, character knowledge for you. You've been gone for quite a while. It's been quite a few years at the very least, kind of hard to tell the way things blur together. There wasn't one of these ceremonies when you left, so you are correct. However, just meta knowledge, this ceremonies have started since then. So, just to help guide your conversation.
It wasn't a thing, and maybe it's a thing now, but it certainly wasn't a thing when me and my crew left, and now we are returning back. But we're still part of the town. That makes sense?
So you're old.
What? Hold on, what?
So you're old.
Did you say old?
Mm-hmm.
Lorelai chuckles a little bit into her meat.
Well, I'm in my prime, okay? That time, like, post the innocence of youth, but prior to the cynicism of elder age. So kind of between 25 and 27. That sweet spot for a halfling, right? That's where I lie.
I just lean back over to Soraya. So he's old.
Soraya sort of almost just by habit leans away as you lean toward her. Yes, he seems old and very aware of his own shortcomings.
That was a good one. That was funny. That was a good one.
Thank you. So I'm sorry. Forgive me for being rude. I am Soraya. So if three of us are looking for this shard, are you also looking for the shard?
In a manner, yes, kind of, sort of, sure, yeah, why not?
So that's a yes?
Sure,
Okay.
yes.
Why are you guys so like veiled? You know, it's just a shard.
I'm not wearing a veil. This is a robe.
Oh my god.
I am curious. If we all seem to be searching for this shard, perhaps it would be wise for us to search together.
That's like discovering that there's no food and there's one boar, and that we should all work together to bring down that boar, as if we would all equally share said boar.
But I have no interest in using this shard for its magical power.
Okay, all right. Does anyone else? Because if you guys want to help me on my quest to get the shard, that would.
I mean, I have personal interest in it, but I don't want to use it to conquer towns.
All right. So how about you?
Brian. Brian's the name.
Okay. Cool.
And my name is Lorelei, if we're sharing names, and she like pulls her cloak a little bit closer and just settles down a little bit.
Well, I have no interest in the shard's power per se. Just in it for the research, I guess.
Wow, I think.
Research.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you a researcher?
No.
That makes sense.
Sorry,
Just straight face. No.
Are you interested in a certain aspect of the shard that you are researching?
Yes and no.
Okay. Vague. That's fine.
Are you naturally vague, or it's just kind of an afternoon thing?
No, I'm green.
Okay. All
And
right.
Lorelei, as this conversation progresses, you notice, glancing around, kind of lost track of things, getting to know one another. It seems that, although there are still a decent bit of people in the room now, the large majority have left. Things have gotten much quieter. There are tables full of dirty plates that the server's scrambling around to pick up. And everyone else seems to be kind of getting on with the getting on as far as eating and getting their things together and stuff like that. You're not the only ones here, just letting you know it seems like people are clearing out.
Okay, well, it seems like we're being left to our own devices. So, I don't know if we want to retire somewhere else. We might be in the server's way, or I know I have a room. I don't know if
I don't want to miss if there is a ceremony this evening. I do not want to miss it.
I'm not sure where the ceremony is. I've just heard that it's.
Excuse me. I wave down the barmaid.
Okay. Individual comes up, long hair, stocky shoulders, loose-fitting shirt, and really rough brown pants. Turning towards you, now that they've slowed down for a minute, you realize that this is no maiden. Looks at you. Yeah. What'll it be?
Well, hello there.
Yes, I was just wondering about this ceremony that I've heard so much about. Can you tell me when and where this ceremony takes place?
The Vigil for Light is at the Rybalka Cathedral. Just down the road, you can follow the crowd most likely. It should be starting within an hour. That's where most people are going.
Did we go to school together?
I did not go to school, so...
Well,
unlikely.
you have a face that I feel would make the sun quiver. My knees feel slightly weak.
Lorelei
gazing
stands
upon
up
your
and
visage.
says, "Thank you very much," and heads for the door.
Compliments are appreciated, but tips are appreciated more.
Oh, well, you're wonderful. The meat was so-so, but I do appreciate it.
So I will leave a silver on the table and follow Lorelei.
Oh my god, this kid's poor and he's giving you money, so...
Server peels off, goes back to scrambling around, getting all the dishes brought into the back of the lodge.
All right, crew. Let's head on over to this festive place. Is this more of a macabre festive thing, or are we worshiping some evil creature out from the sea? I really don't know what this festival is.
You are the local.
Yeah, I'm coming back. This is a returning. It might be a festival in my honor, maybe like a surprise festival.
I'll just start walking past them towards where Lorelei's going, just like, it's not about you.
I'll turn to Soraya and ask, do you have a cloak? Are you cold?
I tend to like the cold, but this cold is pretty intense. Perhaps I'm in search of a coat. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can. She twists her hands together and says, "You can share mine if you'd like to while we walk. You're small enough to fit with me if you'd like to, and then we can find you a cloak somewhere else. I don't like seeing other people suffer."
You are very kind, but I have to decline.
Okay.
I don't like being too close to people.
Well,
But thank you.
Can I swiftly but quietly pull out my dinosaur blanket from my pouch underneath me and just kind of whip it out, but be super anime cool about it and whip it out and it goes out and around Soraya's shoulder and I just keep walking.
You certainly can, but give me a performance check for fun.
Cool.
Oh no.
Let's see. Well, I have advantage on performance. 16.
Okay. So how do you think you did?
I did decent, maybe I did decently enough where I got it out to where it went out and it got over one of Soraya's shoulders, but then when I let go the other side, it was slowly slipping off the other side. It wasn't quite as smooth, but it was smooth enough to...
Thank you.
I'm gonna need that back. Just keep walking.
Yes, of course.
You're going with them, Sophion? I didn't hear anything from you, so I wanted to make sure.
But
I might have just missed it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a parade in my honor. But on my way, I will be looking out for my crew.
Okay. You find them. They're tucked away in a little corner near what was a fire that has since been doused. And they're over there looking to you. You nod to them. They nod back to you. They get the signal, catch up with you. Following along are your attachés.
Yes. I'm like, what up, guys? Daddy's back.
They fist bump. They smile. Turn to
What do these guys look like? Do they look like Sophion?
So I'm letting chat define exactly who they are. So one of them is Lycus, by Cable Hawk. And then we'll leave the other one ambiguous until someone else offers a different character name. So I assume you know who Lycus is.
Lycus is one of the PCs in our Friday Night campaign. It is yes, I know who Lycus is, and you should find out who Lycus is. You'll be very, very entertained by that prospect.
Yes.
Perhaps we can have Cable Hawk on for a guest appearance as one of your retainers one of these days.
Yeah, my crew!
Crossover we were all waiting for.
Oh my god.
Half hour in, crossover. Spin-offs. Sequels. Prequels. Alright. So, thank you for that. You approach the door, and as you push the heavy wooden door open, about a quarter of the way, a gust of wind catches it and flings it open the rest of the way with a loud slam against the outside. A flurry of snow drifts in your face and into the doorway of the lodge, and you push through the biting wind and close it behind you. Your capes and hoodies tucked close around you, doing a lot to help protect you from the bleak coldness, but not everything. The streets around you, you see in the dark, there's torches lit on every house, every corner, but still it's not enough to penetrate the very center of the street. Muddy tracks from wagons and feet line the center of this wide avenue, with frost and snow rimming on the edges as you huddle down and walk forward. Considering that the entire town seems to be progressing towards the cathedral for this ceremony, you don't really get the expected murmur of activity that you would suppose. It's altogether missing, and the settlement around you seems ominously quiet and cold. Not so much weather cold, just cold in spirit. As you round a building, you spot a group of villagers carrying torches towards a large stone cathedral distant on the edge of town. Following along behind them, every step a little bit harder because of the wind and the cold. You see them rapping on doors along the way, hurrying people out into the darkness, shutting them behind them, and continuing onward. Slowly and eventually, you find your way to the cathedral. They knock once again here. The two large wooden iron-bound doors swing inward, and you hear the sound of murmurs and voices that carry a different tone than the one you've felt out in the village. Not so much joyous, but rather comfort. Some light and some heat also escape, which is causing the air around you to steam. And the interior of the building is bathed in warm glows, inviting reds and oranges, sharply contrasting with the dark bluish cold, the white of the snow and the ice surrounding you in the darkness outside. And looking around, kind of caught in the moment, the contrast between these two things, you realize there's no one else outside with you, and you feel kind of vulnerable standing here all alone, you and your new friends. The final villagers round the bend and pass you, heading in towards the cathedral. You come in. Hurry now. Come along. One of the women calls us, her voice suggesting that to do anything else would be crazy. As she makes her way in with the rest of them, beckoning you towards.
So I will go in and find a place up against the back wall.
Lorelei follows and does the same, but at a bit of a distance.
Marching my ass into that cathedral.
Yeah, Sophiana's going to hop up in there. He owns the place. What's up, everyone? How's it going? Sophiana.
As you enter the cathedral, you're greeted into a welcoming room, an outer room of sorts, and 10 feet on from the entrance, you see an open pair of finely carved wooden swing gates depicting the rising sun on each of them. An imposing man, in not more than a sleeveless fabric top and thick hide pants, greets each villager with a personal message or a guiding and assuring, comforting hand on the shoulder, welcoming them in through the swinging doors into the cathedral proper. As you get closer, you hear muttered phrases, things like, "Oh, evening, Mayor. Light be with you, Igor," as they pass by, shake, embrace, and continue onward. As he turns to face you now, the last remnants coming in from the village, he gives you a beaming smile, not usually associated with the tenor of the mood outside. And greeting you, he says, "Well met, friends, for we are all friends tonight, on nights such as this. Welcome yourselves and find a place to sit. Try to enjoy the service as best you can. The day's dawn heralds new events for all of us. Will be good. We'll like to guide you. Yuri! There!" Waving an individual over. "Seats for my new companions." And you see the individual called over is a thin, not frail, just kind of gangly, elderly individual. Long white hair draped down one side, a dark cloak huddled about his shoulders, walking with an ornate staff. He comes up and he nods to you wordlessly and turns to walk back towards the center of the cathedral, expecting you to follow.
Looking around the cathedral, is there anywhere where there is not as much of a crowd, or some space where I'm not right shoulder to shoulder with other people?
So, the cathedral is largely packed. In as much as the lodge was, so is the cathedral. It's clearly not built to house these many individuals. Around the walls, around the back, and so on, there seems to be oddly enough, there seems to be a space in the middle of a pew, on the left-hand side, about 8 rows back from the front. The reason there's a space in the middle of it is because on either side there are several small, energetic children slapping each other, laughing, poking. And as Yuri walks up, he extends his arm out to welcome you to this pew here in the center of the cathedral. Glancing around, since you asked, you see that even though the exterior of the cathedral is a dark gray stone, the interior is built from lustrous, bright wood from local trees, and the benches are all, the simple benches are pews lining either side, front to back, about a dozen or so. Up in the very front center of the cathedral on the opposite side of you is a large altar with a roaring fire burning brightly. It's bathing all the wood and the weathered, wrinkled faces in a flickering, warm orange glow.
Is there a place we can sit without children, old man?
I believe Igor wanted you to sit here.
With the children?
Visitors are welcome to sit first. It is customary to be generous. And these are the finest children. These are Rybalka's future. Would you not say so?
No, I'd say some of them are. I wouldn't toss them all in that lot for promising futures. Maybe
So I will sit where he tells us to sit, and we'll just nervously sort of glance around and rub the locket underneath her shirt.
Lorelai will also sit with her back like ramrod straight, like very, very good posture, and pull her cloak hood off and pull her hair over her shoulder and mess with the ends of it and like run it through her fingers as she waits.
Can I before Soraya or Lorelai go in, can I just kind of like stop them and like go first to sit in between them and the children so that like they're not being bugged by the kids? Because I know
I do not resist.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna like just hold up my hand and then walk in first and then sit next to a kid and then just like follow the kid lightly to get them to stop being nerds.
You got it.
Yeah, Sophian will sit down and look at the kids.
I like your hair. Really curly. You have big arms.
Yeah, how much do you weigh?
6 stone?
That'll work. You want to help me? I'm kind of haven't bench pressed or lifted anything in a couple days. You're about that size.
Are you seriously?
Mom?
Are you seriously going to try to bench press a child?
I'm not gonna try. If I have the ability to bench press, I will bench press that child. All right, it's 16 stones. That's fine. Don't call for your mom. Your mom doesn't need to be a part of this transaction.
Mom! He gets out and scurries around the corner and goes 2 pews back.
Soraya hides behind her hair.
Yeah.
You know, in my day, when we were kids, someone came up to ask us to be bench press. We just did it. All right, that's free coin.
I like lean over to the kids on my. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lexi.
No, that's called bullying.
I like
bullying. It's a transaction, okay? Like it's fine. Don't make it weird, okay?
I lean over to the kids on my side and I just say, "Yeah, 1,000 years ago."
You're funny. I like your cape.
It's not a cape. It's a protective layer. Don't touch it.
I like your protective labor.
Why are we with the kids? Is there another seat, waiter?
Well, it makes sense why you're here. I'm just not sure why the rest of us are here.
Because you guys are kids and I'm an adult. Like, I should really be in the big boys section.
You sure? You wanted to bench press a child.
Yeah. No, it's actually something that occurs more often than not.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So this cathedral is beautiful.
It is.
It's okay.
Segue.
let's not go
Trying to
crazy.
break into the conversation, Soraya calling your attention to the room around you. You see all of these individuals, various ethnicities, races, cultures, are all gathered here together. Some looking like they came from days of travel, some looking like they rolled out of bed and came here in a hurry, forgetting what was going on. Just about all of them are closely packed together, whispering, speaking in hushed tones, echoing around you. It's a clattering of conversations, but you hear several phrases repeated over and over again. Not so much ritualistically, it's just common vernacular. Things about coming darkness, things about the vigil for light, things about the moon shard, things about light follows dark, and so on.
Would these be phrases that I would be familiar with, like have heard before?
It's possible given your history.
Okay.
Let's do a history check and find out.
Cool. I'm down for that. I also have proficiency in 17.
17. Well, Vigil for Light obviously refers to the ceremony that seems to be about to begin. The coming darkness. You know what, let's follow that up. Give me a persuasion check as well. I'll combine them to see what you know. This would have been information that you gathered in your travels by talking to people and learning these things.
That is a 15.
Okay. So, you would know that the Vigmordir, who built this village and inhabited this region, they believed that there was a ritualistic ceremony held on this day to ensure that the light, the goodness, the warmth would return after darkness reigned over the world. The winter solstice representing such a thing. You would also know that during previous years, before this ritual was adapted and adopted by the individuals here, there were attacks annually, including the deaths of many villagers without rhyme or reason. Old, young, male, female, farmer, guard, didn't matter. And so Juriendor, who was a high priest, came here several years ago. The attacks happened. He felt responsible, and so he decided to uphold the traditions. And since then, we hadn't had any more attacks here annually. Now, the villagers believe that that is proof that the ritual helps light defeat darkness and prevent it from reigning over things. That kind of ties together all of these various sayings and quips that you hear around you.
Okay. I'm not gonna share any of that, just knowing what I know.
Around us, is there anyone besides the kids who are available to talk to?
Yeah, there are people in front and behind you, full-grown adults. Some are looking at you suspiciously, like they don't recognize you, but mostly they seem warm, inviting, giving an offer everyone's welcome thing.
Tap the person in front of me on the shoulder. I'm sorry to disturb you. I just overheard you talking about this ritual. I'm not from around here. I heard you talking about this moon shards. Can you tell me more about what you know?
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
A foreigner asking about a very local tradition.
Sure. Persuasion, that's not going to be good. That's 11.
Okay. Juriendor is in possession of the Moonshard. He is the high priest here. Although he venerates a distant god of war, he is tolerant of each who come to pay respects and their deities. If you would like to know more about the Moonshard, you would have to ask him.
Thank you, that was very helpful. Have a bright solstice.
The light guide you.
And you as well. I turned to Lorelei. But that was easier than I expected.
That was. They seem very very kind here.
Yeah, people
Yes.
are nice.
I do not understand how this town could create such kind people, and also Sofian.
I'm kind. I'm not.
I agree.
Didn't I give you some of my whatever food this morning? God
But you
damn.
also bench press children.
It's cheaper than actually carrying around weights. Okay, it's alright. Everyone, it's fun. And Sophian will look around to see if there's anyone here that he recognizes from the old days.
Okay,
It's
give
like-
me a perception check with advantage.
He's like standing up on the seat, looking around like a little like. Was it
Like when your
a
friend
weasel?
gets to the movie, like,
Yeah, it's like
hey!
yeah. All right, let's see. Perception. Which one is advantage again? I'll just double
You can
roll
roll it
that.
twice, but for future, holding Alt gives you advantage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got a 12.
A 12. Unfortunately, because of the amount of people and how shadowy the corners are and everything, no one jumps out at you. That has been several years, so appearances have changed.
Yeah, I'm looking around. Yeah, it must have gotten more ugly. Okay. All right. He'll take out his flask and drink some milk.
Looking around, now knowing what to look for, do I see anyone who looks like a high priest?
No, but since you are looking around same time as Sophian, you both notice towards the entrance to the cathedral, you see a young acolyte with short cropped hair, dark, male, slightly elvish ears in appearance, making his way down a staircase near the front swinging gates with the rising sun emblem on them. He proceeds to walk through the crowd towards the flaming altar. People turn towards this acolyte with broad smiles, and it's almost eerie as they turn their heads. You see half of their face bathed in bright orange glow, the other half shrouded in dark shadow on the other side, giving a very dichotomous view to their visage. As they twist away from the firelight, their faces come back to twist towards the firelight, their faces come back to resume the same warm orange glow. Following this acolyte, you see a relatively short but stocky human male, long black hair, appearing on the stairway. He moves down towards the front of the cathedral, and his face lit up, a broad, toothy smile, pleasant, not overbearing, as the gaze of the congregation follows him. You see, walking down the aisle, a soft rustle of metallic chain as bright golden armor shining brightly and glinting off of everybody's faces, casting dazzling sparkles around the room as he proceeds up. In doing so, as he passes people, you hear things such as, "Guide us through the darkness so there may be light, Joyandor. Protect us from the dark wood. Help us, High Priest."
That's the guy.
As he continues on, coming up closer and closer to where you are, he just kind of nods and smiles to each of them. He gets up, he's getting close to where y'all are, if there's anything you would like to do as he proceeds up the central pathway towards the altar.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna poke.
It's better to talk to him after the ceremony.
I'm gonna poke my head into his way and just be like, "Hey, did we go to school together?"
I immediately just put my hood up.
Soraya has not come out of her hair.
I am afraid I do not recognize your face, child.
Well,
Greetings,
hold
nonetheless.
on, child. I'm not a child, all right. I'm a grown ass man.
I lean over. Yeah, he's old.
Certainly, I meant no offense. A child of the light is what I was referring to, as I assume
also not
you walk
that.
in the light.
I'm kind of in between. I'm not agnostic, but in between certain belief system. I'm still exploring my spiritual side.
All are welcome who show respect. Welcome to the Vigil for Light.
Before he leaves, I want to ask if we could meet with him after. Just say, could I come speak to you after the ceremony?
Of course, child. I will have all the time for each and every one of my children. But until then, to be safe from the darkness, please stay inside the cathedral. At this hour, the dangers are multiplying outside, and we will speak in depth Whatever you wish. Once the moon shard has given us its dawn.
Wait, dangers like outside this danky ass cathedral?
As you begin to talk, he just kind of nods with a sense of urgency, like he's been held up a little bit too long, and resumes walking. But individuals around you kind of like, yes, it's dangerous outside. We must stay in the cathedral.
Well, I, for one, I know I am foreign to this religion, but I quite like the concept, the idea of light fighting off the darkness, and us coming together for the common good. I think I will enjoy this.
I want to check outside. I mean, aren't you guys curious what the heck's out there? Like, for a city to be accosted, like, how many times does this ceremony happen in a given year?
Once.
To be accosted once a year? What the hell? And what's out there? I'm curious. Who else is curious?
Well, if staying inside is what keeps everybody safe, then I think we should not open the doors.
Well, we can open and close the door, step outside, check out what it is, come back inside when it appears to be too much. Any of you little ones?
How about this, Sophian, if you are so curious, perhaps you go and see what is out there and then come and report.
God, that sounds like it's going to get me killed, but...
Then perhaps we should all stay inside and listen to the man speak.
Listen to the ceremony and investigate tomorrow.
Look, I'm rolling deep. Are y'all with me? Or are you going to sit here?
I'd like to see the ceremony personally.
Okay. All right.
I'll come with you.
Really?
I mean, I already know what all of this is about, so...
Yeah. All right. And he'll pull out a dagger from inside his armor and just kind of hold it like this. And all right, move out of the way. I'm going outside.
Before I get out of the pew at all, can I just lean over to the kids on my side, and I just want to scare the crap out of them and just be like, "You touch her, you're dead." I'm pointing to Soraya.
Okay. All right. Okay. You have to roll intimidation check their kids.
Yeah.
They're sufficiently coward, it seems.
I'll scoot out of the pew and then follow. I'll follow the milk-filled hobbit.
Okay. You do have to essentially push your way, not because people are obstructing you, they're looking at you like you're crazy, but just because there's packed people. You have to worm your way through the crowd at the rear of the cathedral. You go through the swinging doors, and then standing in front of you is the heavy wooden iron-bound doors. You see that they are not barred, but there is an individual of the town guard on either side. They have half plate on, sword, shield, standing there guarding the door from any would-be intruders. It seems like they look at you suspiciously and look at each other and look back at you as you approach the door. They don't seem to be trying to stop you, but
cool. All right, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, can you just part the waves like Moses here, and I'll just scamper onto the other side.
They look back at each other, and look back at you, and look back at each other, and just kind of slowly sidestep, allowing you to walk through the door if you choose to.
Sweet. Wow. I'm like Brian. They are totally dating, but that's gossip for another day. Let's go. Now I'll push the doors open.
Okay. Pushing one of the large wood doors open, same thing happens. The wind catches it, slams open out of your reach, slamming into the stone outside, reverberating around you. You peer into the darkness. The wind has picked up. The snow is flurrying much stronger now, so it's hard to see at a distance. You see, because of the light coming from the cathedral itself, you see maybe 50 feet away. The cathedral is set largely up against the wood line, except for the path that leads back into the village. You're looking along that path, scanning to the left and right along the trees. You don't see anything in the immediate light around the cathedral. However, give me a perception check with disadvantage and an insight check. With advantage, whoever wants to roll, or you can roll individually. Either way.
You can roll, Brian.
Okay, perception with disadvantage. So that's control, right?
That is control.
Do we have any line of sight from where we are to where they left?
Yeah, can we
Through the crowd and the doors, the swinging doors. No.
Okay, I will look until I lose sight of them, and then I will just sit in my chair and count.
Okay, that was a 5 for perception with disadvantage. What was the other roll?
A straight insight check.
Straight insight, okay. Wow, that's a 2.
Okay. You don't see anything besides darkness beyond the sphere of light around the cathedral. You can see the snow is whipping. The clouds are getting much thicker overhead in the very dim light the moon was casting anyway. Looking about, feeling more than seeing, you get that sense that you would get from time to time when you were going off and exploring a little bit too far away on your own in the Underdark, where you felt eyes upon you, that tingling sensation in the back of your neck that kind of stirs you on the inside, but you don't see any dangers.
Can I? I'm gonna turn to Sophia and be like, "Can I touch you?"
You're not sure. It's the worst that can happen.
I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire on Sophion, and that just enables him to glow. So he's now glowing with a 20-foot cube outline. He is growing. He's glowing a light, so he's gonna be glowing like this bright purple light, and it doesn't. It just like outlines him, so I'm gonna be able to see him no matter where he goes. It doesn't say each object. Oh, each object in a 20-foot cube that I choose is outlined in light. Sheds dim light within a 10-foot radius. So he has dim light around him.
Okay.
This is just so that we can see maybe a little bit better, and so that if he ends up getting swept away somewhere, then I know what direction he went.
Okay, you got it. So you are now glowing, Sophion. And so is a little bit of residual glow on the doors and the outside of the cathedral.
Congratulations, you're purple. Now I won't lose you.
You were never going to lose me.
I'll just kind of stare at him and just blink a couple times and then go, okay, are we going out to explore? Like, what's the plan here?
I don't know. Like, I didn't really think this far ahead, but I guess we can look around and see, like, do your, I don't know, reptilian green eyes see anything?
Not a reptile.
What are you?
I'm a person.
You could be a reptile and a person. Those two aren't, was it exclusive? Not mutual? Something like that. You could be both.
Still not a reptile.
Okay. Okay, well, Brian, let's just shoot out into the darkness. Not too far, of course. Back to back, spinning about until we find whatever the hell is going out here. Kick its ass. Come back in as heroes. And thereupon, one of the people in the village will look at me, see me as their true love. I settle down, have a couple of kids, become mayor, get the stone. All my dreams come true.
You have a lot of time to fantasize about your life, don't you?
Oh yeah. Anytime I'm not doing anything, it's where my head's at.
So a lot. Okay. So you mentioned on the way here there were a bunch of like all the houses were kind of lined and they had torches outside or like lanterns. Are they all still lit?
They are. The town proper. You see an incomplete wall. It looks like at some point in the past they attempted to wall in the town itself, but it didn't go well, so now it's an incomplete wall, and that is where you have seen in the past days guards walking along it, just kind of keeping an eye on the surrounding area. And that is a good 300-400 feet away for that, and that's really where the town begins. So you do see the torchlight off in the distance, flickering along the streets, but aside from that, everything is pretty much pitch black.
And there's no other people, no other guards or anything walking around that we can see?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
1 second.
So what now? I mean, could it be that this whole town is just manipulated and moved by a charismatic religious leader?
Well, it's entirely possible. Well, knowing the tales that I know of this town and this particular event of which they participate in, it's not necessarily something cult-like, something fake. It's something that they truly believe in. Whether it is because of the actual ritual, well, not really ritual, but of the actual thing that they do, or whether something else is happening to prevent their evils from getting to them, is kind of not really sure. But there is something that's going on. Can't be sure. I say we go back inside temporarily and enjoy the rest of the ceremony, and then talk to the High Priestess afterwards, get some more information about the shard.
All right, hit it.
I need one of you two to roll me a d6, please.
Oh God.
I'll do it.
While that is happening, I want to lean over to Soraya and say, do you think they're okay?
Honestly, no, I don't.
I got a 4 on the d6.
As you're finishing up this conversation, Sophion's going up for a fist bump over his shoulder. At the edge of your vision, still pretty dim to dark light, you see 4 humanoid forms. They almost seem to be as of men. However, they are kind of hunched over. Their arms are a bit elongated. You're not seeing more than really shadow here. Can't really make out any details, but the arms seem to be elongated almost to the point where their knuckles are down past their knees as they're walking. And they aren't really approaching you, but they're more kind of bobbing to the left and to the right, just outside of light's edge. And they do seem fixated on you. And this is, you're willing to believe this is very much where you're getting that sense of being watched from.
Do you see that?
Vaguely?
It's
Maybe?
dancing. It's dancing outside of your light.
Y'all are still by the door, I assumed, or did you go walking off? Okay, so the light emanating from the cathedral is a good 50 feet out.
Got it.
So they're at the edge of that dim orangish glow.
Gonna pull out, already have my dagger pulled out, but I'll just kind of hold it to my chest and start like inching forward. Like, all right, put your hand on my shoulder. We'll go forward step by step. Let's see what these thugs got.
I kind of put my hand on his head and like pull him back a little bit. I don't think they're going to come near us. I don't think that they're going to step into the light.
You know, not curious what they are, who they are, if they're even a threat. Maybe we could just solve this right now and be called heroes.
Guaranteed, I am a little bit curious, but just because there's one here doesn't mean that there aren't many more out there. I suggest we go back inside and talk with the High Priestess more and discuss of what we saw with the rest of, well, the other two, before we do anything too rash by ourselves.
All right, fine. And I look towards the images and I'm like, look, you lucky she holding me back, okay? Or else I would stomp you. Head back to the door.
I can't just look at it and then look at him and then look at them, and then I'll walk back as well.
Okay, you got it. Open the door once again. The hot air, steam rises. You push through, close the door behind you with a solid thud. The guards, still separate, look at you, look at each other, nod, and turn their eyes back towards the center of the cathedral.
Did you guys see? There's some long ass, weird looking people out in front of the cathedral.
I'm just gonna stop him and just like push him and just like lean down and whisper, "Do not start a riot during this ceremony. You do not want to start something right now."
Just information they should know. I don't know.
It's not gonna come into the light. I think everyone's fine.
Can you turn this light show going on my body off, or am I just going to be like a Christmas ornament for the rest of the night?
I'm not gonna answer that. I'm just gonna keep walking and go back to my seat.
Damn it. Fine.
All right, so Brian and Sophian make their way back towards the pew, and just as you're coming to it and kind of weaving your way in amongst the kids to your original seats, you see now, and likewise Lorelai and Soraya see that Juriandor has made it to the front of the cathedral. While they were gone, the people in the cathedral saw he was doing some prepping, setting some relics and things of that out, muttering things to himself, things of that nature, preparing himself. At this point, he pulls a long wooden torch from a wall, and he uses a large fire on the altar to set it alight. It momentarily flares as brightly as daylight, and everyone within the hall appears warm and comforted by this surge of energy. The high priest begins chanting a prayer. It doesn't even seem to be a language so much as melodic tones and syllables that don't really spell out anything, but they seem to say something all the same. All the villagers begin to repeat the same melodic chant in unison with him. The sound's complex. It's a drone of intertwining ideas that really seem more suited to a shaman than a civilized clergyman. Several long minutes of this pass. The chant begins to fade, and for a time, a heavy silence hangs in the air, almost palpable. You see Juriander motion downward, unclipping a small wooden box from the back of his armor. Even at this distance, you can see the box is finely carved, and it looks quite old and worn. As he slowly lifts the lid, a dark gray stone begins to shine brightly like starlight, followed by a pulsing blue-yellow glow which envelops his face, casting even the orange of the fire to the side. The children next to you gasp out quietly, "The moon shard! It's the moon shard! Do you see it?" But they're hushed quickly by their peers and their parents, as the high priest quickly raises the small glowing rock carefully from the box. His hands rising higher and higher, holding it up for all to see, he begins to call out words in a mystic language, similar but not the same to the chants you previously heard. With each powerful word and incantation, the moon star begins to grow brighter. The air around it seems to take on a life, humming with energy, and the crowd of villagers parts as Juriander walks the aisle, continuing the ceremony. He gets a little bit past you, everybody watches him. He gets to the rear, still holding it aloft, it growing brighter and brighter, pulsing now. You can almost feel things coming off of it as he turns to walk back towards the front of the cathedral. Suddenly, almost as if part of the ritual, the doors to the cathedral burst open with a slam, and the ceremonial gates rattle wildly in the blast. Two men, weapons on their backs and dressed in battered and bruised armor, stagger into the room, each carrying a badly injured individual on their side. "Help us, please! Help us now! We require healing. Our friends are at death's door. The evils of the Darkwood are too many. They have another ally outside turned to stone. Please, help us, someone!" Everybody darts back away from him, shocked. The moon shard loses its glow as Juriander brings it down, looks around wildly, turns to them. Look, everybody starts to scatter about, and then few one at a time, they start to come in and look to them. They seem to know them. They seem to be familiar with them, and you see worry and distraught faces surrounding them. Are you going to do anything?
I pull out my crossbow and make a move to get nearer to the high priest, to protect him, or just to be nearer to him.
I pull out my rapier and hold it at the ready and stand in the aisle facing the people who just ran in.
Okay.
Yeah, Sophion had his knife out the whole time, and he just rolls over and starts like running towards the entrance, ducking in between these little people's legs.
You got it.
I'm also gonna pull out my I'll pull out my crossbow and kind of load it while I'm making my way towards the entrance with Sophion.
Okay. So, all of you quickly spring into action, preparing your weapons, rushing to guard the high priest. The people go towards the door. As you two approach the door, the guards finally seem to reach out, summon the courage to reach inward, grab the doors, and slam them shut. The crowd opens up around them. One or two individuals, common villagers, seem to be trying to stop heavy blood flow wounds, gashes on one of the individuals. You see Jurgander walk up. He puts the moon shard away. Dark Tower, what happened? Are you alright? What's going on? What happened to the alchemist? And begin to talk back and forth. It's hard to discern exactly what they're saying. They're talking so quickly and so furiously. Something about an attack and this and that. But you all standing off on the sides, there doesn't appear to be any imminent danger. The guards themselves have their backs up against the doors, holding them shut, shields and swords at the ready.
I am not taking my eye off of the box that contains the moonshot.
I'm gonna take a deep breath and approach them and say, do they need healing? I have some healing magic I can help you with if they need it, if no one else here is a doctor or a cleric.
Yes, anything, please. My friend is badly wounded. Again, there was an ally outside. He's turned to stone. I'm all right. Here. Tend to him, please. And he lays down the one that he is kind of holding up. This is the one you're speaking with, is who Jurgander called the Dark Tower, and the one he laid down is the one that they called the Alchemist. He's unconscious. The one on the ground. You see this vicious gaping wound along his chest, going from his shoulder down towards his rib cage, got through his very, very thin fabric armor. He's bleeding profusely.
Okay, I'm gonna take another deep breath and hold my hands to my chest, put my rapier away, and say a couple words and cast Cure Wounds and reach out and probably get my hands all bloody, but touch his chest and see if that helps him at all.
Okay.
So let me cast that real quick.
You got it. What's everybody else doing right now?
I am staying with the Joriandor, and I'll say as Lorelai is healing them, what is it that you saw out there? What are they?
The darkness. It comes to life. They surrounded us. The beasts and magic and people. I crazed. I couldn't. The one that you were addressing closest to you.
So they get 10 HP.
Okay, great, thank you. He seems to be like a soldier. He is known as a witch hunter. He seems completely lost and focused on his friend. His friend, you see the one that he's supporting, you see his veins from his chin down into his neck, and the little bit of places that arms were scraped off of his chest and his arms. His veins seem to be almost pulsing. They're enlarged, they're blackened, and his eyes are fluttering. He can't support his weight at all. He's in really bad shape as well. You, Lorelai, you stabilize the alchemist. You put your hands down, you cast the spell. His wounds have trouble closing at first, but as you focus your energy, they do eventually subside, and you get the hint of magic on these wounds as well.
This is dark magic. We have to stop them.
Did you see what did this?
No, it was too much. It came from everywhere. We were coming back for the Vigil of the Light, and we weren't fast enough. They surrounded us.
For the guard who's talking, I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation and make like a scent of like lavender, like something calming, and kind of like puff that towards his nose, and then just stop and stare at him, like get on his level, like get on knee level and stare at him, and just be like, stop for a second, breathe. We need to know if you saw what they looked like. The one who turned to stone, did he look at anything?
Give me a... What would that be? I think persuasion check with advantage? We'll go with that. I'm not really sure what else that would be. So yeah. Trying to calm him down.
That's a 20.
Okay. The smell hits him as you're talking, and we didn't see where the magic came from. It came from the shadows of the trees. There were foul beasts and twisted humans. They sought upon us at the town's edge. We fought them back at first, but they chased us. They were so relentless and so many. I do not know what the healer saw, or what cast the spell upon him. He did not appear to take damage. We dragged him here as best we could on the blood we found along the trail. He is still out there with them. Yeah.
I turn towards Joyanda. Priest, if we handle this problem, can we have an audience with you shortly?
Yes, I will speak to you, but the ceremony must be completed or it will only get worse. The Moonshard must bring us into the light, or we are all doomed.
Yes, I agree. Please keep the shard close to your person. We will handle this. And I put my crossbow away. I light a torch, and I head outside.
Okay. The door blasts inward with the wind, the snow. You go outside. You see about 15 feet away. There is an individual that seems to be made a solid statue. He's wearing chainmail. There's a shield. There's a mace in the other hand, raised up as though he's about to strike or defend himself. You can't tell, but he is kind of haphazardly laid across this large sled in the snow. A thick rope, about 10 feet long, is coiled at the end where they kind of dropped it and ran inside once they were in the light.
Is the stoned person within the light?
Yes.
Okay. Can I go and inspect the statue and look at height-wise how tall they would be if they were standing up, and where their eyes would have been looking, if possible?
And I'll watch the tree line as Brian does that.
Okay. So you give me your perception check with disadvantage, please. Okay. And there isn't really anything to roll for you, Brian. You see, quick glance, significantly taller than you, probably a good, right around 6 foot, standing up. Hard to tell because he was kind of hunched in his whatever he was doing. Eye line with most other average-sized humanoids.
Could I tell if they were looking up or down? When
they were looking. They seem to have been looking straight ahead. It's hard to tell because you don't really get the irises and everything. But
right. Okay.
What's your perception check?
4.
Okay. You see a lot of darkness, a lot of snow. You would notice, especially Brian, now the snowstorm has kicked up even more fiercely. The wind's pulling flags and ripping them. You see them flutter by on the wind coming from the town. It's getting pretty rough weather-wise outside.
When Sophion and I were out here before, we saw a creature, a shadow creature. Could not make much out of it besides its basic shape. It walked along the perimeter of the light from the cathedral. These creatures, they will only travel amongst the shadows. As long as the ritual can continue and light can be brought through, everyone inside should remain safe.
Perhaps we should gather our allies and stay outside so that the ceremony may continue as we defend the doors.
Hell yeah, let's do this. That sounds way more enticing than whatever the hell they were doing inside.
Lorelai?
I'm still crouched in front of the injured guy inside.
Right. I will go back and get Lorelai.
I'm going to, when I see Soraya come in, I'm going to look at the guard in front of me and say, I got your friend stable. He's gonna need a lot of help, but he's gonna be okay for now. I'm gonna go help my new companions, but let me know if you need anything else, and then I'll stand up and walk away.
As you go to walk away, you notice, okay, so the alchemist you've tended to, his wounds have closed up. You notice on the Dark Tower, he has blood coming from underneath the armor of his shoulder. You didn't even seem to notice he was injured, but that side of the steel armor is dripping red now. And also, just to your left, still surrounded, there's other people trying to tend to them, but nobody seems to be quite capable or know what to do besides trying to stop bleeding or trying to give them water and things of that nature. The other individual, there was 2 sets of 2. The other individual who was holding up, the one that you saw, Soraya, with the black pulsing in his veins, his eyes. What's that? Yes, the witch hunter is the one you were talking to.
Yeah.
His friend, the war striker, his eyes have now closed. They have laid him down, and he's not conscious, but he's moving. The movements themselves, they're not voluntary. They're very spasmodic, twitching, and although he makes no sound, his mouth is kind of opening in gasps, as though he's silently screaming. So they are still people very, very much injured inside there, as your other 3 friends, I'm assuming, went outside. Lorelai.
I have just come back in to get her upon seeing this. Priest, is there anything you can do to heal these men?
I would have to pray. I can pray. I can tend to one of them if you can tend to the other. If not, I can try praying for both of them, but I don't know if we have enough time.
I can help one more time. I don't know about the. Who did you say was the witch hunter? The one who.
Okay. So the witch hunter seems okay.
Okay.
The war striker is the one that seems to have whatever going on with his veins, twitching, things of that nature. And then the one you were originally talking to, Lorelai, the Dark Tower, he's the one that has some type of injury underneath his armor. And don't forget, just as players, reminding y'all, because it's kind of a homebrew rule, I don't know if any of you took advantage of it, but you can heal with the healer's kit as long as you took medicine proficiency and you have a healer's kit with you.
That rules Soraya out.
However, Soraya, I would like you to make an Arcana check, please, as you're glancing over these, trying to figure out what's going on. And Lorelai, give me a nature check, please. Meanwhile, Brian, Sophian.
Total for Arcana.
Beautiful. Sophian and Brian. Y'all are both outside. Soraya ran back in. Are y'all staying outside, or what are y'all doing?
Yeah, just kind of creeping forward, trying to get a better look at what's out in the dark.
That's a 10 for nature.
Yeah, I'll just be kind of standing next to where the petrified, stoned humanoid lies on the sled. Kind of just like looking around to see if I can see any more of the figures, which I'm assuming I can't because it's really dark past where the light radius is from the cathedral.
It is. I will allow another, probably your final one, perception check with disadvantage to try and see if there's anything out there in the immediate vicinity. Sophian. Handle that, and then I'll go back to the other 2 rolls.
Perception check for me or Sophian?
For Sophian.
Okay.
Because he was looking around, and you already looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that disadvantage?
Oh, so this might be worse. Sorry.
That's okay.
There. I got a 4.
I would say that you see moving, the darkness seems to be alive. It's hard to tell. Either the darkness itself is moving inward and outward and around you, kind of surrounding this circle of light here in front of the cathedral, or there are figures that are hidden by the darkness that are coming just to the edge of that boundary between darkness and dim light and then moving back out, scurrying around. You can't tell if there's a few and they're moving quickly or there are many and they're kind of staying in place.
Yeah, I'll definitely like pick up a snowball and throw it.
Give me an attack roll with disadvantage, sure. Let's cut over. So, Soraya.
Yes.
You notice that the magic that wounded this other individual has telltale signs because of the way that it's spread and the coloration of it and everything, even though it's healed magically, it still has some retaining magic there. It seems to be necrotic in nature. Just FYI to you.
Yeah.
And Lorelei, you pull down the Dark Tower's armor and get a glance at that vicious wound. It seems to be like some type of a claw attack with 3 or 4 hooked claws kind of rended the skin. War Striker on the ground, best you can tell with your nature check is you've seen some things in your travels that have a similar effect. More often than not, those are poisons. However, you can't tell anything about this particular type of poison, or even if it is definitely a poison. You unarmed strike with an 18. So the snowball flies into the darkness and it disappears into the blackness. Then you hear a very, very light sounding as it hits something, but then nothing else happens.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You don't want to step up here.
Lorelei, I must be getting back out there. We are going to stand guard. Your Holiness, please heal these men. Continue this ritual. We will stand guard outside and try to protect all those in here.
That is foolish.
Yes,
Why go outside when the light protects us, when the moonshot protects us? You would risk yourselves.
Evil and dark magic must be put down. And if I can keep that at bay until you have some sort of more solid solution with the moonshot, then I will be doing my duty. Lorelei, join us when you can, and I go back outside.
I'm going
He's attempting to stop you as you go, but you just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the one in front of me that has that I pulled the armor off of, and I'm going to say, I'll help you. Just try to stay inside, and we will deal with whatever's outside. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds one more time and press my hand into his shoulder. Probably hurt him a little bit, but I'll cast it one more time.
Okay, you got it.
So he gets 6 HP from that. And then I'm going to stand up and give them one last sad look over because I can't do anything else, and then walk outside with the rest of them.
Okay. As you do so, you see with a quick word from Juriender, the 2 guards rush out, grab the rope from the sled as they look at you, and then bring it into that open area in the beginning of the cathedral, bringing the petrified individual inside the cathedral itself, and then hesitantly looking at you, slowly close the doors, watching as they do so, and then with a soft thud, the doors are closed behind you.
I turn to my allies. Beware these things, whatever they are. They deal in death, and death damage, death energy, so be on your guard.
How
That's
far?
funny. My dagger also does that.
Oh, gods.
How far does the light go out now that the door is closed?
About 50-60 feet. It's kind of emanating through the windows and things around the cathedral.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Dancing Lights, and it has a range of 120 feet, and I'm gonna put my 4 orbs out past that to see.
Sure. So 4 globules of chromatic light appear, and dim light surrounds all of you, and then with a flick of her eyes, Lorelei, all 4 globes spread out in front of you, covering pretty good bit of the land around you, at least here in front of the cathedral that you can see. As the globes careen through the darkness, you see these shadowy figures kind of recoil from it and retreat along the edge. The same hunched over, long-armed, shadowy humanoid type figures. Not really getting a great look at their details because of the circumstances, but you can see they are there and they are pushed back, at least momentarily, by this light. Standing outside, the wind is howling. The snow is finding its way into every orifice of your armor and clothes, getting down, chilling you to the bone. You hear commotion start to die down the inside. It's hard to tell with a thick wooden door, but the sounds get quieter, at least. And you start to see light of the cathedral once again from the windows and on the ground around you. That orangish glow start to pulse a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter. You hear the chanting coming from inside, reverberating through the walls as though they restarted the ceremony. Listening to this, waiting for the ceremony to complete so that all can be safe. Up ahead on the trail, coming from the direction of the town, you see orange pinpricks of light coming around a corner as though walking down the street. Kind of haphazardly, these pinpricks get closer and closer, and you realize that these are torches being carried through the darkness towards the cathedral. And that's where we're going to take a break. Ha! Cut you off.
What?
Cut
No,
you off.
No, we don't need the
You
GM
cannot.
for this. Let's do this.
You cannot, because we're going to take a break. Because we need bio breaks. We need all the good breaks. Okay, so we're going to cut over to break. I try not to, this is for the viewers, I don't put a timestamp on breaks because people have different needs, people got to do different things. Usually around 10 minutes, but, you know, we'll be back when we're back because we're playing a game. So I hope you stick around for that. In the meantime, you please do the same. Get up, stretch, hydrate, bio, food, invite your friends, all that great stuff. So in the meantime, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the intermission scene, and we'll be back as soon as we can to finish out this first session of Hearts of Shadow. See y'all then. Well, we are back. So, when we left off, the four of you decided to brave what is essentially now a low-grade blizzard, high-grade snowstorm outside the cathedral in Rybalka, protecting the citizens and the building itself within, while Jiriandor, the High Priest of Rybalka, performs the Vigil of Light, the Vigil for Light, depending on who you ask, to ensure that light follows the darkness and everyone is protected for this most tenuous of evenings. You're standing outside. The light from the cathedral is glowing and pulsing as before during the ceremony. You've seen bits of shadowy movement along the very edges of your vision. Lorelei cast dancing lights. So now there's also 4 chromatic globules slowly drifting in the air at the edge of the cathedral light to try and give you even more vision. And you have watched as what seems to be about 8 lights now that they're close enough to count. 8 torches being held aloft have walked down the dark street, covering the distance between the town and the cathedral itself. They're still a good distance away. Throwing a number on it, we'll say 100 feet or so. But they are approaching. They don't seem to be running. They seem to be carried at a walking pace, for lack of a better term. Is there anything that you all doing while they are there?
Can we see what these figures look like? Do they look human or halfling or something sinister?
Okay. They are illuminated by their torches, so go ahead and give me a perception check. Let's see what you can make out.
I'm prepping my crossbow.
I'm throwing a snowball.
That is an 8.
Rapier.
Okay. Well, I'd say you're all looking at them, so go ahead and roll again. Simulate an advantage roll.
Gotcha.
Or someone else can roll, however you want to handle it.
I'll
Roll again. I have no chance.
Oh, that's much better. It's a 19.
Okay. So, the flickering orange light on these individuals shows you that they seem to be roughly dressed humans or adjacent to humans half elves, something of that nature. Their hair's all in various levels of style, but they all seem relatively disarrayed, kind of unkempt, for lack of a better term. They appear to be wearing hide clothing. Hard to make out details from this distance, but they aren't wearing armor of any sort. There's no glinting, and they are walking with their eyes relatively fixated on the cathedral. They don't seem to be scattering about or talking or doing anything else besides simply walking towards you.
Snowball.
No.
100 feet away, can you throw a snowball 100 feet?
I don't know. I'm pretty swole.
I would say that the best range for a snowball is going to be like 60 feet. I'm going to put that out there. I'll throw a random number on it.
Yeah, I'll move a little bit closer.
Gonna move 40 feet closer?
Yeah.
He's right at the edge of the light from the cathedral now. Give me an attack roll.
Okay, I think I did it. Disadvantage.
Well, it would be a regular attack roll because you can see them.
Oh, okay.
But you did, let's see, you rolled with advantage. Let me see what your rolls were.
Oh.
We'll take the first one, that's the one that counted anyway. So that would be a 16 to hit. So the snowball disappears into the darkness. A couple of seconds pass, and then it slams in the shoulder of one of them. Their shoulder kind of knocks back a little bit, and
Sofyan!
they keep walking towards you.
What?
They look friendly. They are
Okay,
not
they look
aggressive.
friendly, but nothing out there is friendly. Hey, who are you? Stop moving. Identify yourself.
Come away from the edge of the light. I don't like you over there. Back up a little.
I'm fine.
They are wearing hides.
You're gonna
Perhaps
get snatched.
perhaps
we don't
they
know
are
what's out there.
the indigenous people who used to live here.
What?
They're wearing hide.
I used to live here.
Before your people settled this area, were there not indigenous people who were here?
Are you saying they're indigenous just because they're wearing hide armor?
I'm saying it looks like they are more involved with the natural world than you.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty natural, all right? I poop and shovel it, all right? I'm very natural. Hey!
Well, be my guest.
I'm just like yelling out, hello! Say your name!
They're continuing on towards you. They seem relatively unaffected by the snowball. They just seem to be intent upon getting to the cathedral. They're closing the gap now, getting closer, obviously. They're probably from you, they're probably a good 20 feet now.
Yeah, I'll start moving towards them with my dagger out, like...
Oh, God. I only have a torch. I do not have any weapon on me right now. Well, on me, but not wielded.
Okay, so you two are out there at the edge of the darkness, meeting them. Is that right?
I'm a bit behind Sofyan, but I am lighting him.
Okay, you got it. What are you two doing?
I'm going to follow a little bit behind, maybe like 10 feet behind Soraya. But I have my rapier, like, held out, but not, like, pointed at them, just at the ready, just in case.
I'll follow a little bit closer to Soraya, not getting like super close to Spooker because I've obviously observed that she doesn't like people next to her. But I want to kind of like guard her while she's holding a torch and not anything else. So I just kind of have my crossbow ready and I'm kind of like right behind her, kind of just looking side to side and checking back at Lorelei. Just keeping a guard watch on the light.
We'll use your previous perception rolls for that.
Cool.
Alright, so Sofyan gets out at the very edge of darkness. You see nothing but shadow beyond him besides the torch-lit, illuminated faces of these individuals. This close now, they do seem to be some fashion of not indigenous people, perhaps, but more nativists, hunters, trappers, people that live on the land. And they're walking with a relatively determined gait. Their faces are relatively blank and just continuing onward. And they get within 5 or so feet of you to where if you wanted to, Sofyan, you could basically stick out your dagger and strike them. And then they stop.
What up?
The one in front of you says, We seek the safety of the cathedral.
Why? It seems like you guys are doing pretty fine out here. Is it just you? How many people are coming in?
We bring the light with us.
The
Let
torch.
the light come to us all.
Okay, it's just a torch. Let's not get spiritual about it. How many of you are there?
We must drive off the darkness with the light of the heavens. And they begin walking past you.
Let them pass.
No.
Come. While they're walking past me, say, do you come to the cathedral every year?
Seek the safety of the cathedral. As they continue walking, they're not looking at you, they're just continuing onward.
I don't like
Do I get any sort of sense that there is something wrong with these people?
Insight check.
Insight check. That is 13.
They seem strange. That being said, right now, everything seems kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
So, hard to tell if it's them, the environment, this night, your nerves.
I'm just gonna say as they try to get past us, I'm not gonna physically stop them, but I'll say, unfortunately the chapel is currently at capacity, but we are guarding those who wish to stay by the doors in the light. So we are protected by the shadows, but unfortunately we do not have the space for all of your people to come into the actual ceremony. I hope that is okay.
Okay, are you walking with them while you're saying this? Because they're
Yes.
continuing on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not trying to stop them, but I am keeping pace with them.
You say these things, and they reply. The one that you're talking to replies, "We bring the light to drive the darkness. We must drive off the darkness with the light of the heavens."
I understand this, but unfortunately we cannot let you in.
I don't think that I don't think that they're capable of any other communication. I don't think that they're all here. If that makes sense.
Oh god, what do we do?
Do you have any marks or anything on them? Like any facial marks, any like tattoos, any scars, like anything that they all share and or something that
Nothing that seems in common with them. You're all in pretty good light now. You're probably about 15, closing on 10 feet away from the table, from the cathedral. I don't know why I said table. One of them does have a tattoo. It goes from midway up his bicep to midway down his forearm. It doesn't look arcane or anything suspicious, just some of the regional type tattoos you've seen in this area.
How many torches do they have?
There's 8 of them, and they're each carrying a torch.
Okay.
I'm going to just get in front of them and just keep walking backwards, not physically stopping them, but I reach into my bag on my hip and pull out a bit of blush and just sort of rub it on my cheek as I say, I do sincerely apologize, but I'm going to have to ask you to stay out here with us and not try to get into this cathedral, or else we will be forced to attempt to stop you, and no one wants any sort of violence, and I will cast friends.
Okay. So make your persuasion check with advantage. At this point, your back is virtually up against the door, and they're 10 feet away, 5 feet away as you're talking.
Okay.
Stop once again in front of you.
I rolled disadvantage, but that was the other one was a natural 18.
Okay.
So with advantage, that would be a 23.
Okay.
So I rolled an unarmed attack.
Jesus!
Against him.
What?
As they're getting close, I'm just running towards them, about to drop kick one of them in the back. For not.
We were gonna do it. We were gonna do it.
It's good cop, bad cop.
All right. So are you?
Bad cop.
Two things. Number one, weird pet peeve of mine. Please forgive me, but let me ask for rolls in the future. Thank you. Number two, are you going to go? You see that Soraya is doing this. Are you going to continue on with your strike?
I think it's more so I see it and I just kind of slide and flop down like to the side of this person, preventing myself from smacking him in the face. Just go,
Okay. So, quick glance to your side, Soraya, and you two as well. You see Sophion do this really weird, like, dance move on the side of them, and then just kind of sit there waiting and watching. They come to a stop in front of you. You say your piece. He looks down, he looks over to the one next to him, and they're all kind of congregated. They're not in lines. They're kind of all right there. A mass of 8 people. Torches held up. And look at each other for a moment and look back at you. Let the light come to us all. And they go to push through you and open the doors. Are you gonna do anything?
Oh God, yes, I am. I am going to just take the torch that I'm holding and close my eyes and just shove it into the person in front of me.
Okay. And everybody to roll for initiative, please.
This kid is scalding someone in the face. Oh my god.
Let him in!
Scalding their face. Oh man, how do I get that little thingy up again?
You right click on the combat tracker tab and it'll pop out to the side. And then yeah, you click on your own die.
I can do this, or maybe I can. I'm a slow.
Alright, so let me do this. Rolling a bunch of dice here. Okay, so this is how I handle situations like this that kind of happen out of the blue. So all of a sudden somebody strikes when everybody's aware. We have initiative, okay? But what I want to do is I want everybody except Soraya to give me an insight check to see whether or not you are surprised by her action. Probably not. In fact, I'd say with advantage because you were all prepped. You were ready. So if you rolled once, roll again. Take the higher.
I'll just take that 17. I don't think I'll get higher.
That's a 9 for me.
A 20 for me.
Okay. So, let's see. We got 17, 20, and a 9. So I will say, Brian, you are caught off guard at the sudden thrust by Soraya. So you are going to be surprised this round.
Sweet Soraya, no.
Oh no!
So we are going to start with the initiative tracker. I will move you to the top, Soraya.
Okay.
Edit this real quick. Alright, so make an attack roll.
It's just an unarmed strike, essentially.
Are you just trying to grab their torch and shove it into their face?
No, I'm holding a torch.
You
so
get your torch? Okay.
I'm shoving my own torch into their face.
Yeah, we'll call it unarmed strike.
Okay.
Unless you're proficient with a club.
No. 16 to hit.
16's a hit.
But I have a negative strength modifier, so technically it does 0 damage.
Okay. We are going to say, for fun, that is also going to do... And make a saving throw to see if they can avoid the fire.
Okay.
Fail the saving throw, so they are going to take 1 fire damage as the torch streaks across their face. Their skin, giant red rash now. As he curls back, doesn't seem to show any sense of pain, but he turns to look at you and then slams you into the door.
Okay.
So we've got 2 of them that are up next. So they're both going to grab you and try to push through you. One's going to go for the door, one's going to go for you because you're blocked. You can't block both of them.
Yeah.
So give me either an acrobatics or an athletics check to try and stop him from shoving you through the door.
Okay. I will do acrobatics. That is... Okay, 14.
Okay. So I rolled a 10. So he tries to shove, you dodge out of the way, he falls up against the door frame, and you kind of pin him there momentarily. Meanwhile, the second individual opens the door. He goes in. The other ones are starting to surge in behind him. All of y'all are clustered kind of tightly together. Don't have a map for this because they're trying to get into the cathedral. Lorelei, you're up next. What are you going to do?
Okay, I assume I would be behind them at this point because I stayed at the back of the pack. So I would like to try to push forward and see if I could help Soraya at all. Maybe stab the one that's holding her or that is like next to her.
Okay, so mechanically there's no advantage here because I just flavored that. But yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Okay, I'm gonna use my rapier since I already have it pulled out.
Go for it.
So that is a 10 to hit.
Struggling with Soraya, happens to move his arm out of the way, it knocks it, doesn't make contact.
Okay, that's gonna be my turn.
That's it? Alright, another hunter rushes in behind the first one into the cathedral. There's now 2 of them in there. Sophion, you're up. What are you gonna do?
I'm going into the cathedral and trying to stab someone.
Okay, so you rush in behind him. There's one right in front of you. Go for it.
Yeah. Do the thing.
What'd you roll?
Do you see it?
I usually don't have the chat up. I'm multitasking here.
Oh, sorry. For some
okay.
reason, I can't get the chat box up.
You got an 18.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, 18. 18's a hit.
Woo! What was my
So
damage?
that's 6 points of piercing.
Yeah.
You should be able to click on the upper left little like message icon. That's the chat window.
Yeah,
Do you see that?
I keep trying to bring them up, but it won't come up. Maybe it's kind of hidden somewhere. Yeah.
It's always going to be on the right. The chat box is the only thing you can't move.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason it's not coming out.
If it's not
weird.
popping
Oh,
up,
there you go. I got it. I did. Yeah, 6
All right,
points.
so 6 damage. So you surge through, kind of leap up a little bit and jam the dagger up into their back, right next to the spine. They stumble forward and whip around with the torch at you. You dodge out of the way, and they're focused on you at least for the moment. You are now in the opening area of the cathedral. Is there anything else?
Yippee-ki-yay. That's it.
All right. Another hunter surges in through the door. I will say that since you're all tight and you all know they're going towards the door, you can get opportunity attacks off on these people if you want to do so.
Yes.
Okay, so
I will as well.
Yeah.
all right, let's roll them one at a time.
I missed.
Yep, dagger swings around, blindly striking out because you hear them coming. Doesn't make contact.
Yeah.
That's an 11 for mine.
The rapier, you're trying not to hit Sarai. Wait a second too long. He's in the door before you can hit him.
We're good at this.
My unarmed strike, so my torch strike is a 19.
Okay, dexterity saving throw. 'Cause you're kind of, we'll say you're wrestling with the torch right now, trying to swing it around.
Yeah.
And he dodges out from underneath it, eyes locked forward, swinging it harmlessly over his head. You can do anything, Brian?
yeah, I have my crossbow out.
Okay.
To go ahead and try and shoot one of them.
Okay, we'll say you're going at the same one that's going into the door, and you're smart enough to stay far enough back. You don't have disadvantage. So 17, that's a hit, 7 piercing damage.
Yep.
All right. That crossbow bolt flies in, rakes the back of his neck. You see blood kind of gush down towards as he disappears from the doorway. He does make it in the doorway, though.
Okay.
It's your turn now, Brian. What are you going to do? Let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 more outside. One of them's kind of tangled up with Soraya. And there's 3 inside.
Can I try and hit the one that's entangled with Soraya?
Sure. Make an attack roll.
I'm far enough away with my crossbow, right? I'm not like super close with them.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming that you would know how far back to stay. This
Okay.
is all theater of the mind.
Cool. Crossbow. Boom.
That is a hit
Yeah.
for 8 damage, it looks like. Nice. 21 to hit, 8 damage. You got it. Crossbow flies in, wedges in beneath the ribs, buckles over almost involuntarily, not in pain, just as a reaction. Soraya gets the better of him for a moment, but then last bit of strength, he pushes back, and they're still kind of tangled up going at each other. Anything else?
That is that it? Yeah, that's me. That's it.
Okay.
For me.
All right, so you've all used your reactions for opportunity attacks. That means the next 4 are going to make it inside.
Shit.
And we're back at the top. So Soraya, you are engaged with this one. All 7 of the hunters rush into the cathedral. Now you're all hearing shouts from inside. What are you doing? The light must deliver us all. Light, save us. We bring the light to the darkness. You hear screams. You hear, Jeffrey, what are you doing? Jillik, stop. And then you hear and feel flames coming from inside the cathedral. Sophian, you saw them rush in, peel off to the left and the right, waving their torches around, trying to catch tapestries on fire. Everybody inside the cathedral starts rising up. Some are rushing towards them. So the individuals that y'all helped heal, the ones that are capable of, are starting to tangle up with them. Everybody in the crowd shouting out to apparently people they know and their loved ones, stop them! No, don't hurt them! There's something wrong! They don't know what they're doing! Big old chaos going on. So, Soraya, you're outside with this one. You have Brian and Lorelei outside. Sophian's inside with the rest of them. What are you doing?
If I turn my head slightly, do I have line of sight inside, or do I only see the one that I am tangled with?
So in my mind, there's a closed door and you're up against the door frame on the opposite side, so you'd have to peel off and go inside to see anything.
Okay. In that case, I will cast Blade Ward on myself, making me resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, and then I will try to get out of the grasp of this hunter and create distance between me and the hunter.
Okay, you got it. So they are going to take an opportunity attack as you do that.
Okay.
That is going to be a 14 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so that's going to be 4 bludgeoning damage as a torch connects against your skull, reduced to 2 because you're resistant. I need a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save.
To try and avoid the flames, even though you take
That's
the
not
torch.
good. That's a 3.
A 3. So you take another fire damage. 1 fire damage as from the torch hitting you.
So 3 points total.
3 points total.
Okay. Still up. But I will travel 15 feet away from the hunter and also try to keep distance from my allies as well.
Okay, so you're staying outside?
There's one door that's open, yes?
Yes, one of the 2 double doors is open, pushed in.
I will orient myself so that I am still outside, but that I can see through that door.
Okay. You see immediately, you see Sophian, and you see one other hunter right there in the opening. The rest seem to be milling about. There's chaos inside. You see a lot of bodies. Those 2 swinging doors inside are opening and closing with the suns on them. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Okay, that's my turn.
All right, don't forget you got your reaction back as your turn passed.
Yes.
All right. So, more tumult and chaos on the inside. The one next to you tries to rush past, hitting you as he goes. Soraya, because you're... Well, no, who'd be closest to the door? Sophian's inside. You went 15 feet away from him.
Yeah.
You were staying back for your crossbow, so Lorelei, I'm assuming you'd be closest to the door?
Yeah,
Okay.
I ran up to stab the one that Soraya was with.
Alright, so Soraya disengages. This one turns to you, trying to get towards the door. You're kind of in the way, so he lashes out with the flaming torch. It's a 13 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so that's 3 bludgeoning damage. Dexterity saving throw to avoid the fire. Or to
Okay.
tamp it out on you. However you want to flavor it.
Oh, that's not good. That is a 5.
Okay, so you are going to take 2 fire damage as well.
Okay, and did I use my my reaction already?
You did last turn, but you're about to get it back because your turn's next.
Okay.
You got it?
Alright, yeah.
Alright, so he runs by you, he hits you, and he darts inside. So now all 8 of them are inside. You are up. You don't see. You can look in and see Sophian's there with one of them. The rest have gone through those double swinging doors. What are you gonna do?
Me?
Yep.
I'm going to peek in the door and so the one that I was with just ran inside, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna cast infestation on it. So that is a constitution save of 13.
Okay, so there's the outside doors. One is open. There's the entryway. Sophian is in there with one. And then the one that you just tangled with ran past him in through that second set of swinging saloon-style doors. He is out of sight.
Okay, I'll do the one that I can see then.
Okay, easy enough. Alright, so he's a con save. You rolled a 16.
Oh, okay. Alright, that's what my turn is gonna be. Well, I'm gonna follow in after that. After I cast it, I'm gonna follow in.
Okay, you gonna stay by Sophion and the one in the entryway, or you're gonna go all the way in through the saloon doors too?
I will go all the way in.
Okay, you got it. So, Lorelei says some arcane words. All these tiny insects starts flurrying around this individual tied up with Sophion. He's batting him away. Doesn't seem to be affected as he's engaged with Sophion. And Lorelei darts past them into the crowded, chaotic cathedral. Sophion, the one that is next to you, is going to lash out at you. The 4 to hit does not hit.
Woo!
Take your dagger, deflect the torch out of the way, and you come around for a return strike. I'm assuming because it's your turn.
Heck yeah, let's get it dirty.
Go for it.
Cha!
That's a hit.
Nice. Yeah, so 6 points of damage.
Beautiful. The torch goes over your head as you duck down, dagger right through the chin, yank it out, he collapses on the floor, blood starts pooling at his feet, screams coming from inside. What are you going to do?
I'm moving further in.
Alright, so you dart in through the saloon doors as well. You see, both of you two that are now inside, you see that these crazed hunters are spread out around the walls, lighting the tapestries on fire, anything that'll burn the wood. There's some of the citizens that are brave enough for trying to grab onto them and hold them, but they can't seem to. You see the individuals that you helped earlier, the ones that are still standing, they are fighting them. None of them are using weapons, so they're trying to knock them out, subdue them, restrain them, trying not to hurt them, apparently because of their ties to the people here. Alright, so that means, Brian, you're up.
So assuming this is all happening within like seconds of each other, I will run in as far as I can into the cathedral. Do I make it past the double doors, the swinging doors?
Let's see, we'll say you were 10 feet away, so you have movement speed of 30?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Let's make this easier.
Scene change.
Ooh,
I was waiting for some of y'all to come in. Alright, so Lorelei is in here, and Sophion came charging in. I will let y'all move y'all's tokens 5 or 10 feet depending on where you two want, and then you can charge in. You can get another 10 feet past this door, Brian, and just you're still outside, so I remember that.
yeah.
Oh, I'll just be right at the door there. How many fires have been started?
So far, 3.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and... how far away is the farthest fire?
Okay, so the fire's been started by this individual up here,
Okay.
one right next to you, next to the door, and then another one over here in the corner.
Okay, the one next to the door, I'm assuming that the fires aren't super big yet?
No, they're starting to climb up tapestries and things, but they're not super big yet.
Are they small enough where I can prestidigitation one and snuff one out? Of the
Seems
band?
like it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna cast prestidigitation and snuff out one of the fires.
Okay. It disappears. He looks even more confused and crazy than normal, and he viciously starts swimming back at it to try and get you going again. Anything else? You still got 10 feet of movement.
No, that's gonna be the most I'm gonna do at the moment.
Alright. So, this individual's gonna keep working on his fire. The one next to you, seeing you, is gonna turn his attention to you, and he's gonna lash out at you. Flaming torch attack. That's gonna be a 5 to hit. I'm assuming that's a miss.
That is a hard miss.
Alright. This one is going to run towards both of you and lash out at Lorelei, because the other one's engaged with Brian. That's a 13 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, it's 4 bludgeoning.
Okay.
And he is saving dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, that's better. That's a 15.
Your sleeve catches on fire a little bit. You hurry up and tamp it out. Get your rapier at the ready. And for now, let's see. Where's this one at? One second. This one. He has a fire going. He has a fire going. So, back to the top of the order. Soraya, you're up. You're outside, right by the door. It'll take you 5 feet to get inside the door.
I am 15 feet away from the door, actually.
You are. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
So 15 feet.
So,
you can get just to where you can enter this room, because this doesn't have the entryway on it.
Okay. So could I get to like there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you squeeze in there. Sure.
Shit. And there would be no line of sight if I were to stay outside of this room, yes?
No, you could try and hold this door open, but intermingling with your friends and these Craze Hunters, there's also a whole lot of citizens and other stuff going on. It'd be hard to have line of sight. Not impossible.
So I'm gonna squeeze. I'm going to squeeze where I am right now. Drop my torch. I'll drop my torch in the snow outside so that I don't contribute to the burning of this cathedral.
Okay.
And I will pull out my dagger and stab the one in front of me.
Okay, go for it.
That's good. That's a 20 total.
That's a 20 to hit.
Yes.
And how much damage?
2 points of piercing damage.
All right.
Stab,
so,
stab.
Dagger comes out. You slam it into his rib cage, and you rip it out, crumbles to his side, and slides down the wall. Notably, from next to you, you hear, "No! What did you do?"
Shit, these are good people, right?
And then one of the town citizens comes up and starts just wailing on you, not hurting you, but just going crazy, beating you over the head for
that was a
killing
mistake.
a loved one, apparently.
Oh God.
All right. Anything else?
Guys, be careful! Non-lethal, non-lethal! Shit.
Anything else, Raya?
Fucking no. I've done enough damage for one round.
All right.
Is the guy dead?
Yes.
Oh, like okay.
And I only did 2 points of damage to him, so be really careful.
And just remember, you can always say you're going for a knockout instead of a kill.
Right, yes.
It doesn't matter how much damage you do, or even mechanically what weapon you do it with. Even fireball, for some reason.
Got it. Good to know.
But if you roll a crit, you might not have a choice. I'm just going to put that out there. So,
got it.
All right. So this one, seeing you all come in and attacking, and things are not going well. There's a couple fires going. He's going to rush over and engage with Sophion. Pushing his way through the crowd, shoving, torch flailing about wildly, swings it at you. He rolled an 11 to hit.
No.
You dart out of the way and prepare yourself. Lorelei, you're up. What are you going to do?
Does the one that ran up and hit me in the face look damaged at all? Can I tell?
He doesn't seem to have any wounds.
Okay, I'm just gonna stab him with my rapier then.
Go for it.
Try to.
Oh God.
She's gonna murder people!
I can't, but that doesn't hurt.
5. Phew.
The healer giveth and taketh.
you get knocked off balance with the scrum of everybody around you. Your rapier swings wide. No impact.
Okay, and that's where I'm gonna end my turn.
All right. This one over here is going to see if you can make an attack roll to set another fire up here. And he does. He rolled a 21. So now a fire climbs up the side of the stairwell here, tapestries, and it starts to flicker onto a really beautiful painting right next to it.
No!
And he is going to move over to try and start a fire over here. Sophion, you're up. What are you going to do?
Oh, man.
I did yell non-lethal in-game.
Yeah. So I will non-lethally lacerate this person's ankles with my dagger. All
Okay,
right,
you got it.
Attempt to. 14 versus AC.
14 hits.
Sweet. 7 points of lacerating damage as I crouch down and with deadly proficiency just snip those tendons right behind the ankle.
Okay. So in a blur of movement, Sophion swings down, The dagger comes across the back of both of his ankles. His legs give out. He crumbles down on the floor. People surge on top of him, rip the torch away from his hands, and they have him pinned. He is restrained. He is out.
Woo! By the way, and I point at Soraya, she killed the one outside. And I will... oh, sorry, let me go back so I can count. 1, 10... Okay, that's as far as I can go. 15. No, wait. 25, right? Because I'm halfling.
That should be on your character sheet. 30 feet.
Yeah.
It's saying 30 feet. I don't think halfling's 30.
Yeah.
We'll go 30 for now.
Yeah. I think it's 25, but that's 25 so right there. So I will be right there. That's good.
You got it. All right. So the one next to Brian is up. There's 3 of you there. They're going to stay engaged with you. He lashes out towards you, Brian, with a natural 1. Clanks against the wall. You back up, looking at him funny, like, what the hell are you doing? And it's your turn. What are you gonna do?
He still this individual still has their torch, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna snuff out their torch with prestidigitation again.
Okay.
As cantrips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't attack because prestidigitation is an action, correct?
Correct.
Okay, then that is my turn because I don't have anything else useful at the moment.
Okay. He sees you standing there. He slashes up towards you upward. You kind of back up and Flame goes completely out. He looks confused and starts swinging wildly at you. Just a beat stick at this point. All right, so this one is still engaged. He's going to move around. Move around you. He does leave your range, Brian, if you want to take an opportunity attack.
Oh,
shuffling around Lorelei.
I want to use my rapier. Is that okay?
Sure.
Rapier attack. Swing. Oof, that is a 20 for hit.
That's a hit.
That is 8 piercing.
Okay. Are you going to knock him out? Are you going to knock him out or kill him?
Yeah, can I just, like, knock him out?
Sure. As soon as he turns his head, the hilt, whack, in the base of the skull. He tumbles forward, rolls a bit. All the villagers climb on top of him. Keep him pinned. Take out the torch. Done. Nice. Alright, so this one down here is going to see... This one just started a fire. So right now, you have a fire here, and a fire down here. And he knows he's on the losing side, so he is going to run over here and try to start another fire. That is an 11 to hit, so he does start another fire. So now you have 4 fires. And this one up here, here's you coming. He's going to turn around and fling his swimming torch at you, Sophiana, coming from behind. That's a 13 to hit. You're muted. Or your pantomime, one or the other.
Oh, both. Yeah, Sophian absorbs a blow, just kind of like chest bumping the torch, like, and it just sparks away off of his lovely armor.
Nice. All right. There are 4 hunters left spread throughout the cathedral. There are 4 fires going. These fires, each round they're here, are starting to climb higher and grow bigger. So this one is new. And this one is new. This one has reached about 10 feet up, as has this one. Starting to, you see the lacquer melting. It's starting to reach up towards the ceiling, the roof of this part. And this is a multi-level cathedral. Char is starting to char the roof, the walls around it. Smoke is starting to build up. People are screaming. Several people kind of surge past you in panic for their lives, trampling over you. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid being trampled as they surge through you towards the doors.
That's a 13 for me.
For me.
17 for me.
I'm making sure I'm doing this right. I think so. Oh, yeah. Okay, saving throw. Ciao. I got a 12.
All right, so this herd, this massive horde of people just start funneling through there. I'm gonna make one for the hunter too, just because, why not? Very save. All right, so everybody except Brian gets trampled over and knocked to the ground. You don't take any damage, but you're knocked prone, and you bundle up a little bit to keep from getting damage as 10 people 15 people surge out through the doors in panic into the darkness outside.
Oh god. They're gonna get butchered.
Yeah, there's fucking undead things out there.
Soraya, you are now up. You are prone, so half your movement speed to get up if you want to do that.
Yes, I will. I will use half my movement to get up, and then the remaining to get here. You said the fire's in the corner.
Yeah, you get you there.
Okay, that's fine. And I will say, I am sorry, Brian, and I will take the blanket that I have wrapped around me and use it to quell the flames.
Okay, give me a dexterity check with advantage.
Such heinous PvP actions the first game.
I'm so sorry. That's a 13.
Okay, so it goes from 10, you tamp out a lot of it, get it confined more to a 5-foot area. So you're doing good, you're making work.
So if any of us dies, are you just gonna stick a mustache on our character art and that's just our new character?
You'll find out. At least, well, I hope you don't find out. Is there anything else, Soraya? That was an action, by the way.
That was an action, yeah. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna try to keep dampening it.
Okay, you got it. Lorelai, you're up. What are you gonna do?
So this hunter, is it... Oh, I'm prone, so I'm gonna get up from being prone first.
Okay.
Is the hunter in front of me prone?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, I'm gonna hit it with my rapier.
Alright.
Okay. Hopefully this one goes better.
His torch is out, by the way.
Okay, I got a 20 for my hit. And
Okay.
that's...
Did you roll with advantage? Because he's prone.
Oh, just in case, you know.
Yeah. I don't want to rob you all of crits.
Oh, yeah, so it was a 20. And
Okay, so that's definitely a hit. How much damage?
6 piercing.
Alright.
But
You
it
going
was
for the...
non-lethally.
Okay. So he rolls around, he starts to climb up, and as he's coming up, the hilt of your rapier, whack, right on top of the head. He crumples like a sack of coal. He is out.
Okay. Can I use the rest of my movement? Where did you say the fires were?
So Soraya's by 1.
Okay.
1 is here.
Okay.
1 is here. And now 1 is here. This one down here in the corner is 10 feet. The other 2 are 5 feet.
5 feet. Okay, I'm
5 feet
going
high.
to... Oh, I don't really have anything. Alright, I'm gonna run over to this one. I used half my movement, so I can only get that far.
It's close enough. I'll give that to you.
And I have a blanket in my stuff. Could I get that out and use that to tamp it down as much as I can?
You tell me if it is readily accessible or if you'd have to dig inside a bag.
I would assume that I would have it in a backpack as a bedroll underneath.
Okay.
Wrapped
If it's
up.
if it's on the outside of your bag, you're welcome to do that.
Okay. What do I have to roll for that?
That would be
Dexterity?
a dexterity check with advantage.
Okay. Where is my dexterity?
Because you're using an object that works well.
That's an 18.
Okay, so a 10-foot flame, wind, flap, pat. You get it confined down to a smaller 5-foot area. You're doing good. All right. Actually, I screwed that up because you took an action to attack him. That's fine. That's my fault. I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay.
All right. So this one here is going to run back and engage with Sophian.
Let's do this. Ah!
And that is a 9 to hit.
No, but they have advantage because I'm prone, right?
You are not prone. You should not be prone.
Right, I got 11 because I was trampled.
That's right. You didn't need one because you weren't in the doorway. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
that was me. That's my fault. You were good. You were not prone.
Woo!
Yeah. Sophian, you are up. There's 2 right next to you. There's a fire going up. What are you gonna do?
Oh man. So I look between the 2 with sad eyes as I unleash my most devastating attack, closing my eyes and whispering to the blade of humorous death. Yeah.
Okay, you striking the one by the wall or the one that just came up and started swinging at you?
The one by the wall. So I crouch down and slam my knife right into his thigh and just break it off, non-lethally.
Yeah.
Non-lethally.
I
Sure.
really non-lethally.
And I'm like, yeah, best night ever.
You rip the knife out, and blood starts pouring down his thigh. He's still up, but he's hobbled now. He's favoring that leg.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna want to lay down.
Anything else, Sophian?
No, that's it for me.
All right, Brian, you're up.
Okay. Let's see. 5. Can I get over to this fire over by this guy? The one on the lower. Can I get?
Yep,
Oh,
sure
oh,
can.
Oh, can I get? Oh, I can't. Cool. I don't want to be over him though. I just want to be like, no. Just.
I screwed up because we were both moving your token at the same time. So I'm gonna go hands off unless y'all ask me for help.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's where I want to be. Can I prestidigitation the fire out? That's growing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what prestidigitation is, but I'll let you do it already. Like, so these are 5-foot big flames. And I just kind of said, yeah, you could do it the first time. So yeah, you can keep doing it. I was just saying that because I don't know the exact wording on how big you're supposed to be able to do it with prestidigitation.
I can put out like campfires.
Yeah, we'll call it neutral. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I wasn't gonna go for the big ones. I'm like, I can't do the big ones. Yeah, I'll just put out the growing fire, and then that's my thing. I'll just stare at the guy.
You got it. Staring at the guy, he is very pissed that you put out his fire, so he's going to swing at you with his flaming torch with a 19 to hit.
Oof, yeah, that'll hit.
Alright, 3 bludgeoning damage to you, and a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. That's a 12 for me.
12. Fire starts, you put it out real quick, no fire damage to you, you're locked in with them.
Cool.
Alright, and this one, up here with Sophian, going to jump out of the way and try to start another fire. So opportunity attack if you want, Sophian.
Stop it.
$16 to hit, okay, and 7 piercing damage. He turns to walk away. Are you gonna use your blade or your hilt? You're muted.
I get so excited.
I know.
So yeah, the person's turning around and I just duck, and I'm my eye height with it because I'm a halfling, so I'm just slashing that butt. Just whoosh.
He slashed across the gluteus maximus. He stumbles into the statue, hitting his head on the way down, falls over unconscious. The torch rolls a little bit away. Several people take their coats, tamp it out. He's no longer a threat.
Yeah, I'm like, I got 3. 3's my score.
All right. So 2 of them left. There is 5-foot fire here, a 5-foot fire here, and now will be a 10-foot fire here. So Soraya, you're up. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to tap out the rest of this fire that I am at.
Okay.
Assume I can do that with my action.
Yep,
And
dexterity
then-
check with advantage.
Okay. With advantage. That is an 8.
Can't seem to quell it this time. It's burning too hot and too fast.
Shit. Okay.
Plus, Dakota's taking some damage now.
Yeah, shit. Fuck. I'll just stay where I am.
You got it. Lorelai, you're up.
I'm gonna do the same thing and try to tamp out the one in front of me more with my blanket.
Go for it. Dexterity check with advantage.
That's a 19.
All right. Thankfully, you're able to smother this one completely, pull it off, look for embers, nothing, glance around, take a moment of the scene. What else are you gonna do?
I'm going to move over here, stay a little bit away, and wait to see if Brian needs help at all. And then in my turn.
All right, you got it. This one is going to go for broke with you, Sophian, because you just sliced his friend's gluteus maximus, and y'all are stopping the fire. It's 12 to hit. Nope. Flaming torch comes around, pick up your arm, knock it out of the way. You ready your dagger for a counter stroke. It's your turn.
Oh, snap. All right. I'm like, I'm really sorry for this. Oh, I knew my luck would run out. 10, I assume, misses.
He seems to have caught on to your movements. He dodges out of the way.
Oh, he like moves his butt just in time. I'm like, my secret move discovered.
He spins and goes to counterstroke against you again. You two are locked in combat. Brian, you're up. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try to knock this one out with my rapier.
Go for it.
Just with the hilt of it. If I can. That's a 12 to hit.
12 hits.
Alright, so that's 8 damage, but I'm just trying to knock him out. I'm not trying to lethal.
A successful strike, the hilt across the jaw. You hear as it whips his head around hard. He stumbles for a minute, regains his composure. He's back at it with you. He's still up.
Alright. Yeah, that's it. I'll just look at him disappointingly and shake my head like an angry parent, like an angry dad.
You got it. He is going to lash out, look at you, and lash out against the wall, trying to start another fire because he is not doing well and he knows it. And that is a hit. So he's going to start another fire next square over. Sarai, you're up. Wait, did you knock out his torch? Or no, you did the wall, right?
I did the wall.
Okay, right. So now there's another fire opposite of you, opposite side of him from you. Sarai, you're up.
I'm going to try to get rid of this fire again.
You know what to do.
With advantage?
Yep, because you're using a blanket. That's a good idea.
18.
18. All right. You successfully, finally quell the flames and put them down.
Okay, then with my movement, I will see that Sophian needs assistance.
No, what the heck?
And I will go around to the other side of the enemy.
Okay. So there's still a fire here, and there is a new fire here. This one, at the end of this round, this one's gonna be climbing up to 10 feet because you guys are basically know how fast they're spreading now. So you're on the other side of the enemy. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay. Lorelai, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to this guy and hit him non-lethally with my rapier as well.
Go for it.
That is a 17 to hit.
How much damage?
6.
All right. Whack! Against the skull, he pounds into the wall, kind of springboards off, rolls a bit on the ground. Lorelai kind of stand next to him, look down, look up at the fire, hear screams behind you. Anything else?
No, that's gonna be it.
All right. This one is... I'm going to roll a d20. Who's he going to attack? He's attacking Soraya.
Okay.
So you come up behind him, he sees you coming, he lashes out behind, backhand stroke with a flaming torch, 12 to hit.
Shield.
Nice. Arcane shield flies up, disperses the torch, kind of crackles, bits of flames go flying in the air, and you see this ethereal glow surrounding Soraya now. Sophian, you're up.
Oh. Excellent. He's going to jump and do his other secret move. Aww.
11's a miss. Sorry.
He jumps.
Does he have advantage since I'm flanking?
Yeah.
I didn't think we were using flanking rules. Is that the
sorry.
rule? I forget.
My mistake.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't think we were.
Yeah.
And generally, I only do it if players ask for it because generally numbers are worse for players.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. I just flop in the air like. It doesn't look.
It is a beautiful display of graceful dagger combat that unfortunately just barely slices off some hair from the Grace Hunter's head.
Like, darn it, knifey. Do good.
All right. Brian, you're up.
I'm gonna... Well, I can do it from here. I'm gonna go ahead and... Well, I don't have to move. I'm gonna go ahead and snuff out, because the fire over here is only 5 feet right now, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and snuff it.
Magically disappears.
Cool. And then there's just this one. I'm gonna move right up to there and then switch out my rapier for crossbow and just prepare for if more shit needs to go down.
You got it.
Like that, yeah.
Somewhere in the town, a dog barks loudly, echoing throughout the cathedral. Soraya, you're up. What are you gonna do?
is it not Lorelei?
No, you're up.
Oh, sorry. Oh, right, sorry. I thought that shield was my turn. Okay, I will. I will try to use my blanket to get rid of that fire.
Okay. So you move closer to the wall. Go ahead and I'll move you. Make your dex check.
Thank you. Okay. Dex check.
In hindsight, these coats are remarkably impervious to taking fire damage.
Technically, it's the blanket. Oh, that's 18.
Blanket, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember this is 5 or 10. Pretty sure it's 10. Don't care.
I think it's
5,
10,
whatever.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. We'll just say you've been making considered effort from here on out to put out this fire while your friends are handling the hunter. So you're there. Lorelei, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna move my full movement. Well, not my full movement. I'll go right there next to Brian, and I'm going to try to cast Infestation again at this hunter.
Ew.
You got it.
So that's another con save of 13. I'm gonna pull out a little flea and send it over there.
Natural 20.
Dang it! These
Yeah.
guys are very
It wasn't
clean.
It wasn't an attack roll, though.
True. All
A
right,
small
that's
cloud
gonna
of
end my
locusts and
turn.
flies. He's fighting through it, and he is going to... You were the last one to hit him, right, Sophia? Well, no, he sees Soraya putting out the flame, and he really worries about that flame. He's going to attack Soraya again.
Don't do it.
Thankfully, in your rapid movements trying to put out the flame, you narrowly, unknowingly, dodge a torch strike to your head. Sophion, you're up.
Ah, yeah. I see those delicious tendons. Hello. Why? Why, dice?
Who's going to take him out? His foot hops up over your dagger strike and comes down, narrowly missing your wrist on the way. Anything else?
Okay, guys, this is really between me and him, all right? This is an don't disturb us. Ugh.
Hearing and seeing this, Brian, you have a moment to act. Are you going to do anything?
Can I snuff out his torch flame?
Sure.
I'm just gonna. Oof. Done. That's my act. I'm gonna let Sophion have his mo. You got this, buddy. Just aim. Just actually aim and actually put the Pokepop into him.
All right. So that was Brian. Soraya, say you're working on the flame still, just for fun. Lorelei, are you going to interject, or are you going to let Sophion try and duel it out with this hunter?
I'm gonna let him duel it out if that's what he wants.
Yes, this is me and the hunter.
All right. So you and this hunter start. There's a crowd that swells out around you, giving you a little bit of space. Dagger, torch, going blow for blow as your friends watch on. The fire's all extinguished. People yelling, "Don't kill him! Don't kill him! That's my baby! Take his fucking head off!" So he rolled a 13.
I like that.
He rolled a 13 to hit.
That glances off my chest armor, and I'm doing my own theme music. I'm like, dun, 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 dun. What's the Star Trek one? Oh man, it is right at the tip of my tongue.
I wish I could help you.
I know, right? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna find this. But yeah, I will attempt to. He gets the special. So right in this collarbone area, just gonna stick the knife in, and then rip it out.
Go for it.
Yeah.
All right, so this is obviously a hit. It takes him out. I'll let you flavor this however you want, because this was a one-on-one duel with you and him. Anything special?
Excellent. Yeah. He does this kind of flying jump, latches onto this guy's arm, John Wick Baba Yaga style. Flips him over into the kind of curtain wall with his blade going down his arm in a straight line, and he just lands in this perfect gymnastic style at the end, and then bows.
Nice. Unfortunately, because of the mood of the situation, there's no clapping applause. However, everyone is sufficiently enamored with your unconscious stroke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, guys, come on. That was pretty cool. Like,
People rush on top of him, bound his hands. stop bleeding as they are on everybody else, and the torch has been out. They take that away from them anyway. So all of them now.
I immediately rush over to the man that I killed, and just try to put a hand on his wound and try to hold the blood in.
Okay, give me a medicine check.
Oh god. Okay, a 17.
Okay, so you're able to successfully stop the bleeding for the most part. It's trickling through, but not life-threatening. I also need a perception check.
Okay. Perception.
Mm-hmm.
That's not as good as 9.
Okay. Stopping the bleeding as you kneel down next to your hand. I'm sorry, not your hand. Your knee comes down on the hard wooden floor, and you're not anywhere near. You're not near his head. Like, there's obviously a gap there, but you feel something against your knee all the same. It's very strange. Peculiar.
I'd like to just sort of feel around and see if there's anything invisible or something that's not quite right with the physicality of what I'm seeing versus what I'm feeling.
Okay. So, running your hands along this unconscious, crazed hunter, you feel that where there should be nothing along the ear, there's a invisible ridge. And as you're running your hand along this ridge, confused momentarily, the visage of the hunter changes from a scraggly-haired, bearded woodsman to long silver hair with purple streaks, pale skin with kind of streaks of gray coming throughout, large almond-shaped eyes, the features of a drow.
Someone help, please. Someone.
I'll go over. What's the problem?
They're not who they say they are. It looks like I do not know what this creature is. It looks like Lorelei.
I back away like very quickly and
So
hold up and just sit there.
So you didn't kill an innocent villager? You killed something else?
I still killed someone.
We can all see what this one person looks like now, though. It's not just Sarai who can see what the drow on the floor looks like. Okay.
Yes.
Do they all look like that? What did you do? This one didn't look like that before. What did you do?
It must have reverted forms when it died.
Ah.
I sort of brushed its hair out of its face.
As you do, you see the eyelids flutter a bit, and a slight movement of the irises glances at you. As you sit there, confused for a moment, and then suddenly beneath the drow, an arcane portal appears. She falls through, and it closes up behind her.
Holy shit!
Okay, hold on, and I'll run to one of the other hunters and just start slapping him. Like, if you're a drow, you gotta tell me.
People are attempting to fight you off. However, in your crazed fury, you are able to get in a couple of licks. You feel warm skin. They appear to not be changing form at all.
Okay. That's my bad, guys. I'm sorry.
Can I? I'll go over to one of them because I assume there's another one like over here where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of feel around and kind of try to imitate whatever Soraya was doing, and kind of just feel. I didn't know what Soraya was doing. I wasn't looking, so I'm just kind of like patting them all over, like full body pat.
You check around. Nothing feels or seems peculiar about this individual as well. And in fact, being diligent as you are and just kind of looking around, listening and talking to everybody, you now notice that this individual they had people attempting to tend to them to keep them alive. However, this one didn't have anybody latched onto them like a loved one or a friend. All the other ones have people calling to their names, calling out, trying to wake them up. So it seems like these other individuals were actually from this region, new people here. And maybe not the one that disappeared just now.
Wait, the one that disappeared didn't have anyone attached to them?
No, they didn't have any loved ones or friends calling out their name or anything. They
Okay.
had people like trying to stop the bleeding and stuff, but
I just thought they
not
were
the same
lonely.
thing as like an elderly mother holding her grown child and things like that. You don't get that sense of, you didn't get that sense with this one compared to everybody else.
Okay, so the one that I'm at doesn't have any connection.
No, they do. They do.
I do. The one that
They do.
disappeared. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That one was the odd one out.
Okay.
There is a lot happening.
And I know that they're Drow, right?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Okay.
So in this setting, generally speaking, all the various races are common. You kind of know there's a couple that are well hidden and secretive, but the ones that are considered more common in most other settings are very common here as well. They come and go and things like that. So yeah, you would recognize a Drow.
Okay. I'll
What'd you
I'll
guys
go-
do against Drow?
Nobody seems to be paying any mind to you right now. They're really caught up in what they're doing. You see now, as you're trying to take all this in, the ones that have been restrained and held unconscious are being tended to. They're carted off towards the entryway. You, looking at in their direction, you see the guards have now dropped a wooden bar across the outer doors, preventing anyone from coming in or out. You see the mayor talking to them, and you get the sense that's what they're talking about. Everybody else is being calmed down and ushered back to their pews. You hear Juriendor and some of the other elderly villagers calling out, getting everybody to calm down so they can finally complete the ceremony, so nothing else happens, nobody else dies, we must get through the ceremony, etc.
Are any of the hunters, are any of them waking up?
At this moment, no. They all seem to be like they're going to be out for a long time.
Okay.
Some much longer than others.
The butt lacerations.
Brian, I am sorry. In the heat of battle, I had to use what was handy, but I will fix it. I promise.
Don't feel guilty.
How bad is my blanket looking right now?
Let's roll d20 and I'll let you interpret it.
You want me to roll it?
I don't care who rolls it.
I'll roll it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's a natural 20.
Okay, so the edges are frayed and it smells like smoke. It smells kind of ashy, but largely it's surprisingly intact, probably due to how fast Soraya was moving it to quench all the flames. That's right.
Wow, in retrospect, now looking at it, it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that back.
Yes, of course. You say it is your protective layer. It is certainly protective.
And I'm like, oh, no, that's just my blanket. This is my protective light, and I'm like wearing my robe, and I'm like showing him the.
Sorry, the motif is similar. Well, I am glad that it is worked out. Perhaps we should sit and let the ceremony commence.
I don't
Yes.
know. It feels weird to be doing this when there's like blood on me, and I don't know. I feel like I need a shower or something.
Would I have been able to recognize that drow or the portal that it disappeared through as a drow?
Okay, well, that brings up a good point. Why don't you and actually I think all three of you, why don't all three of you, not Sophion, three spellcasters, give me an Arcana check and we'll see.
14 for Soraya.
Okay.
That's not good. That's a 4 for me.
Okay.
That is a 18 for me.
Okay.
And before you give an answer, would I have any? I mean, I already technically had advantage on it because I have proficiency in Arcana. But would there be any other bonuses I would have? Me technically being from the same general place.
For this instance, no. For this instance, unfortunately, no. I will say that. Let's see, quick math. Brian, and your studies and your affinity with the arcane, you have heard of similar spells such as this. They are conjuration magic. They're used to teleport from one place to another, and this is either the spell commonly known as, or very similar to the spell commonly known as Dimension Door.
Would I just know, like, of the spell, or would I have knowledge of, like, how the spell works generally? Like, basic knowledge of how the spell works? Besides, like, it's a portal.
You would know in as much that spells like this typically have restrictions, either a certain range
Right.
or some other type of limitation.
Okay.
So it's a certain range or something they can see or somewhere they know, stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go and sit down in the pew that I was sitting in, where I was sitting.
The children are now remarkably quiet.
Damn right.
I will go up to Joriandor and just say, I believe for now, at least, the danger is alleviated. If you want to finish the ritual, I know I'm not from around here and have no authority in any way, but perhaps speak quickly. It would probably help.
You three see, in order to speak to Joriandor, you would have had to go back to the altar because he's already preparing to start the ceremony again. So you see this very thin, frail Soraya standing next to this stocky, long-haired, gilded chainmail armored male, and they're casting the most remarkable shadows, the contrast between these two body forms high up on the wall behind them with the torchlight blazing in front of them. He leans into you. We will be safe in the cathedral, in the light, as I said, but we will not be truly safe until the light follows the darkness. We must complete the ceremony now. We do not know what else evil may be upon us.
I nod and walk back to the door and just stand somewhat near the guards at the door.
Okay.
Sophion takes a seat and like slams his dagger into the pew next to him, wiping some blood onto the pew in front of him, and then pulls out like a bag of maybe like the D&D version of trail mix, so like nuts or something out of a bag, and he's like, carry on.
Does Sophion have blood on him, like clothing?
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
he because he goes right for the artery, so it's very like
More so the enemies than his own, but there's a little bit of his own as well.
Can I prestidigitation his shirt?
Sure.
And clean the blood up. Just I'm sitting in my pew, I'm not even looking at him, just
okay.
and then I pull a loaf of bread out of the pocket of my robe, and then I just kind of start eating it.
Ooh. Did you want to exchange maybe some 3 nuts for like a slice of bread?
No.
Fine.
So, settling back in, after several long minutes, everybody's calmed down and quiet enough. Once again, the slow, long, melodic chant begins. And then, once again, Juriendor finally holds the moon shard aloft. The entire congregation, seemingly intent on focusing their energy and attention towards the ceremony to be done with it as quickly as possible given the night's events. With a powerful chanting voice, Juriendor sends a massive wave of bright energy from the moon shard throughout the cathedral. Out and then back in, this flows back into the moon shard, and you see a rapidly forming, glowing blue gateway centered in the air surrounding the stone. Through this arcane portal, you see several orbs emerge. Lightless, but bright at the same time, fluctuating in color. As soon as they enter the room, all the normal light patterns reflecting from the torches and candles around warp and are seemingly drawn into them like a whirlpool or a vortex. The attracted glow forms into a swirling pattern around the spheres, and then shifts, almost spasms, and then rapidly starts to intertwine faster and faster, culminating and coalescing into a single dark floating orb. Everybody starts to gasp and scream and panic, and you can tell by the reaction of this crowd, this is not ordinary. This is not how this is supposed to go at all. The orb begins to circle around Juriendor, spinning wildly up and down, left and right. His eyes grow wide. He holds the moonloft high like he doesn't know what to do, or he's attempting to control it, and then begins to lash out with bolts of darkness penetrating into Juriendor's skin. You see him whip and spasm and fall to the floor. The moon shard tumbles onto the wooden floor and rests for a moment. Then you feel as much as see some type of unseen presence pull the moon shard down through the cracks in the floor beneath the temple.
Fuck.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
God damn it!
So, let me go back to roleplay. I forgot I'm on the wrong screen. I was on the battle map scene this whole time. You guys, thank you. That was a great first session. I love that.
That was fun.
Everybody
I didn't
that
kill a guy.
That's okay. I mean, yeah. Viewers, thank you for hanging out. I hope you had a good time. The first of many sessions in the Shadows of Heart campaign. All sorts of crazy things to happen in the future. If you enjoyed your time, as always, please follow, consider bringing your friends along, join the Discord. I'm going to let these amazing individuals give themselves an outro because they're new, and then we'll just stick with the info banner after this, but they deserve their gratitas as well. And then we'll say goodbye for the night. So, once again, in order, Mitch.
Hello, I am Mitchell. You can find me at Penny for a Tale on all the socials. I am a TTRPG writer, streamer, and marketer for Penny for a Tale. You can find me on Encounter Roleplay, Penny for a Tale channel, as well as the Cult Divinity Laws channel. You can find me here. You can find me Friday somewhere else. Just follow my Twitter, and you'll see all the places I go. Follow me down these amazing journeys for more lacerations.
Thank you, Mitch. Sammy.
I'm Sammy Ferber. Feel free to follow me at Sammy Ferber on all the socials. If you're interested in playing in one of my games, check out my Twitter. My pinned tweet has a form for potential new players. I'm always looking for new players to run adventures for. And see you next week.
Yes, indeed. James?
Yeah, thanks y'all for hanging out. It was a blast and a half. Go ahead and look up my awkward ass at Shabesy Shark on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, I'm strange, but I eat lots of snacks and it's great. Come hang out.
It is a good time. I can vouch. Lexi?
Alright, I'm Lexi once again, otherwise known as Lexi Monster on Twitch and Lexi Monster TV on Twitter and Instagram. Come by and hang out. We play a lot of horror games, a lot of spooky games. Been playing lots of Phasmophobia and Dead by Daylight lately, so if you're into that, feel free to come by. Lexi Monster at Twitch or Lexi Monster TV on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome, as always. So, yeah, Discord. Follow, support. Much love to all of you. I'm going to set up a raid because I remembered to do that. I usually don't. So I'm going to go over to the stream ending screen and roll the credits while I set up the raid. Please, if you don't mind, stick around for the raid so we can spread the love and tell everybody else out there how awesome they're doing, because we're just one of many. And yeah, thank you for being awesome tonight. I'll see all y'all later. Take care of each other, all right? Bye, y'all.
Bye.